Forever. Dog.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the best show here on a Tuesday night in November 1st to be exact. And boy, oh boy, do we have a show for you tonight. Borat himself would say, if he saw this lineup, he'd say, wah, wah, wee, wah, is what he would say if he saw this lineup. And who do we got on the show tonight? ROB HALFORD from Judas Priest is going to be on the show, an interview I did with him. We'll check that out. And live in the studio right now, Black Lips. They're here in the building. It's going to be pretty freaking amazing. Can't wait for you to hear what we do. So why don't we just get to it? Let's play the theme. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know I rushed.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tom. Yeah, I wasn't ready. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Strike one. Strike one. And I'll talk about why my nails are painted in a minute. Strike one.
Oh, that's strike one. Dang. All right, hold on, Tom. I'm going to get it for you, though. It's going to be coming so fast.
This guy.
You really caught me off guard. I'm so sorry.
Like a bleeping Country Time lemonade commercial up in here. This guy's on the porch. He's going to be hanging out in the cement pond next. With Jeb. And Granny.
Oh, it's almost there. 1 minute.
No, it's no rush. No rush. Only have a full packed show tonight. Wall to wall entertainment.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
Mothership control in readiness. Sonic assassins cleared for space flight. Countdown starting now. 30.
What the damn do?
Countdown started. All units prepare for activation.
25.
Production androids activated. Now.
The tape is rolling. The red orb is glowing.
20.
Audience receptor units
All right, Tom, I got you.
activated. Now.
15.
Music distribution equipment activated. Now.
10. 9. 8.
Oh, here we go. This is helpful.
6. 5. 4.
All units
3,
activated.
2.
Countdown
1.
terminating.
Countdown complete.
All units.
Down, you'll feel alright, you'll feel alright. Over on the bus show. Over on the bus show. Bus show. Bus show. Bus show.
Hey, and I'm going right now. We're going live because we got stuff to do. We got things to do tonight. Ain't going to play no music at the top of the show because we got a lot of show tonight. And we're going to start off. The first guest is not here, I'm being correct, right? Any sign of a Griffin? Is he in the building? Griffin? Yes, no? Maybe so? Nothing?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay. Well, that's his old loss, ain't it? Well, let me tell you all about I'll tell you about why my nails are painted red. Isn't it nice? Don't you like it? I like it. Yeah, that's right. For people listening on the podcast, I got my little nails painted for Halloween because I wore a costume on Halloween, and yeah, I was Lana Del Rey for Halloween, and it was a beautiful costume, and it took forever, but it was worth it. Every minute that it took was a minute towards serving the larger purpose of me having the greatest Halloween costume I've ever had. Why don't we take a phone call, actually, in the interim? Because this is the order of things. Got Griffin Newman is going to come by and say a hi, chit-chat for a little bit. Then, take some calls. Then, Rob Halford. Then, Black Lips. Then, Dudio's video thing. Who could ask for more? Could you ask for more? Could you ask for more on a show? I couldn't. Let's go to the phones. Hot phones. Nope, not hot phones. Sorry, not hot phones. Can't say that. Can't say that. Hello, Best Show.
Hi,
Hi, who is this?
Penny.
Penny. Penny. How are you, Penny? My good friend, Penny.
Good. Good.
Penny, let me tell you something before you know. The only way to support The Best Show is over at Patreon. Patreon.com/TheBestShow. And that's how you support the show. That's how you get all the bonus content we record, like The Best Show 4 Horsemen Edition, which is me, Dudio, Mike, and Pat doing a 2-hour pandemic-style episode of The Best Show where we talk to callers and have fun, have a good topic. The topic on this episode is, what's the first R-rated movie you saw? And that's up on the Patreon, patreon.com/TheBestShow. That's where you go if you're a fan of the half-hour power or me just goofing around with the guys. And there'll be another episode of Rubenesque going up on the Patreon very soon, so stay tuned for that. Penny, what's going on tonight?
Everything's good. Did you know what yesterday was?
I didn't.
It's Halloween yesterday.
Wait, yesterday was Halloween?
Yes, and also a very special person's birthday. He's a caller, I think.
That's right, yes. He is a caller. Penny, what were you for Halloween?
Pluto, the dog from Mickey Mouse.
Pluto?
Yes, Pluto, the yellow dog.
Yes, Pluto the yellow dog from Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, he's also from the Clubhouse one, too.
That's right, he is. Did you get a lot of good candy?
Yeah, my favorite one, I thought I only got one of these, type of candies that was, these, circles, and then, in this wrapping paper. I, ate a lot today, when I got home from school.
You ate a lot of candy when you got home from school?
Yeah.
Now, are you worried at all are you worried, let me ask you this, Penny, are you worried that your dad's going to, eat some of your candy when you're not home?
Yeah, and I was nervous. I saw that some of my candy was in the big cat bowl, which we use for trick-or-treating.
No.
And my dad told me when I was going home from school that my parents were eating the Halloween candy. And then later I was like, hey, don't put my candy in here. And
Yeah, you don't put your candy. And what was she saying?
My mom was just like, well, we mixed them in there.
Well, this is what you got to say.
But,
This is what you got to say.
but
Is your old Papa around? Is Papa around?
yeah, he's totally around. He's holding the phone right now.
Well, this is what you
last
say to him.
time.
This is what you say to him. You say,
Okay.
listen up, mister.
Listen up, mister.
I worked hard for that Halloween candy.
I worked hard for that Halloween candy.
And I didn't go trick-or-treating all day long.
And I didn't go trick-or-treating all of the day long.
To have you put your greasy mitts all over my Snickers.
To put your greasy sticks all over my greasers. I think that's what
No,
you
it's close.
said. maybe.
I say, well, we're going to do better with that one. I didn't go trick-or-treating all day to have you putting your greasy mitts all over my Snickers.
I didn't go trick-or-treating all day to put your greasy tippers on my Snickers.
Perfect. Now, what's he doing? What's the look on his face?
He's just He's been saying it loud because I'm on the call right now.
Yeah,
He
he's
probably doesn't
crying.
want it to
He's
grow.
crying. He doesn't want us to hear him crying.
I can kind of hear him right now. He's like,
Yeah.
he just made a little noise from his mouth.
Well, what are your favorite candies there, Penny? What's something you'd let your dad eat from your candy collection that you don't have much interest in? Dots? You ever get those? Dots?
Oh, my brother got them, and I got them like on Trick or Treat Street.
Okay, on Trick or Treat Street. Yeah, bring our guest in also, please. Please bring the guest in. For the love of Christ. Bring the guest in. Just say, so you like dots you're not sure if you like. Is that what you're saying?
I kind of like dots, but I've never ate them before. I think that you put them on gingerbread houses, but I'll tell you my favorite candy. Smarties. That was the name of it. I was like, what is that candy with the circle name? And then I was like, oh, Smartie. I was eating like lots of Smarties when I got home from school.
You like Smarties, huh?
Yeah, they taste very flavorful, and my brain feels like it's about to explode because it's the best candy you can ever get at stores, I feel.
Okay, you don't like chocolate, eh? Not a big chocolate fan, huh?
I do like chocolate M&Ms. They're good, but I kind of don't really like peanut M&Ms, but they're good. They're good. Well,
good.
there's like my brother for Trick or Treat Street, he got caramel M&Ms, and I was like, that's gross. I accidentally took a bite out of them to see what flavor it was because the packet was blue, and I was like, and I told Mom that like Logan is not gonna like it, and then Mom was like, I'm gonna eat it, and then I'm like, Mom Mom, you're not gonna like it, and then I was like, what? And I think then I was thinking, what about Dad? So then I was like, no, Dad would not like them. And I heard my mom just laugh in the background.
Mm-hmm. You know what you got to do? You got to trick your dad into eating the candy you don't want, right? Right? Wouldn't that be funny? This is what you say to your papa.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do right now. You ready? You say, Papa, Papa.
Papa.
Say, Papa.
Papa.
Take a seat, my friend. Say, Papa.
I said that.
Okay, I know you
Papa,
said it,
Papa.
but sometimes you got to sell it a little more, okay? Say, Papa. You say, oh, I know you said it. You're going to yell at me again. Get yelled at by a 7-year-old. That's where I'm at.
Papa.
No, this is what you say. Papa. Oh, look, okay, we said Papa. Okay, we got that taken care of. Say, all I ask, dear Papa,
All I ask, dear Papa,
is that you don't eat my... Now, what's a really lousy candy? What's a really lousy candy, Penny, that you just... No, you're just talking to me now. You're just talking to me now, Penny. What's a candy that you think is gross that you got from trick-or-treating? Laffy Taffy?
I remember, let me think. Snickers. Because
Snickers?
I don't like the gooey part. I don't like the gooey part where it's like you bite on it and then it's kind of like cheese pizza. I like when...
It's kind of like cheap pizza. Snickers are like cheap pizza?
Yeah, when they have that little liquid inside of it and then...
No, that's not a Snickers. They got liquid inside of it. You got some weird Snickers going through your neighborhood. Liquid. You got liquid in your Snickers, eh?
Yeah, and then kind of like a pizza. I've always tried to want it. I kind of more like it when it's on a pizza. And speaking of pizza, I know you don't like one type of pizza.
What type don't I like?
Toronto pizza.
Toronto pizza. That's right, Penny. You're paying attention. But also, I got to just say this, Penny. No offense to you. God bless you. You're one of my favorite people on the planet. There ain't no liquid inside of Snickers.
There's kind of this orange cheesy thing that's kind
Orange?
of like when you bite on a pizza.
Penny? I didn't think I wanted to say this.
Caramel.
Put your father on for a second. Just for 1 second.
Okay.
Hi, Tom.
What are you doing over there? Your kid thinks Snickers has liquid and orange cheese in it? What are you doing?
She's calling it liquid. I think she means like this. The melty caramel is like melty cheese on pizza, the same consistency. She's calling it liquid for lack of a better
Throw
word.
the air conditioning every once in a while in that house. His can's a little sounds like your can's a little runny. What are you doing?
No, it's just stretchy when you pull it off.
Stretchy when you pull it off. I don't know what's going on in that house, but I don't like it. Liquid in a Snickers and orange.
I guess
There ain't nothing orange in a Snickers, no matter how liquidy or not. Either Penny don't know her colors, or you are doing something very strange in that house.
it's like a tan. I guess she's just thinking orange, but the caramel.
All right. What's your candy you're eating? So you this is what the story I'm getting. Your kid goes out to school. You start sneaking into a room, eating her candy, right?
No, it's just all in a bowl in the kitchen.
Oh, it's all in the bowl. She breaking her back getting this candy. You're watching from your rascal riding around the neighborhood on your Jazzy.
I'm not that old.
You're making her go up to the door and you say, ask for 2 this time. Dad's hungry. Penny. What?
What? I'm here.
Yeah, okay. This is what I want to say.
Say something.
This is what I want you to say. You hide that candy. You hide that candy. You hide it. Put a mousetrap in the middle of the. This is what you do. You put the bowl. You put the bowl in your room. You put a mousetrap in the middle of the bowl. Then you go to school.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you're gonna come home. Dad's gonna have his hand bandaged up, and it's gonna be.
I have a question for you.
What's the question, Penny? Then I gotta go. I have a very powerful guest in the studio.
Actually, I have 2 things to say.
Well, you got. We
First,
could
the
do
question.
one. We could do one tonight, Penny. It's my show, not yours.
So first, let me just talk about this is a problem that happened to me. So maybe if I can squeeze in both, it's okay. So first, the problem was once I was playing the cat piano, and my foot was stuck in a chair, and then the chair tipped over and it hurt my foot, and it really badly hurt. I cried real bad.
Okay.
I said it like real fast so I can ask the question.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do with this? You need help?
The question is, do you know this movie Coda and this actor in the movie called Daniel Durant, this like deaf guy?
I have no
guy that
idea.
doesn't
Oh, that
speak?
movie, yeah. The guy who looked like Frank Miller. All of a sudden, it's
I
like
think,
Frank Miller's up for an Oscar.
He's on Dancing with the Stars. He was on there yesterday because on every single Monday night he goes on there. But one Tuesday night he was on there for the prom night.
Okay. How's his dancing?
Very good. I've been voting for him like a lot because he's like my number 1 favorite person
Really?
on the show.
That's very cool. You
Yeah.
know who I want to win this season?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make him to win this season.
Guess who I
but
want to
he
win?
can get that gold.
You know who I want to win?
What?
Richard
What do you wanna
Kind.
win?
I want Richard Kind. I want Richard Kind to win.
I
Penny,
don't think he's a part of.
I think he is. Look, Penny, you're the greatest caller. Congratulations on a successful Halloween. Tell your dad. Is he playing with that Galacticus doll he bought?
Yeah, he's like he got it and it's got like very cool powers.
Yeah.
And he got it like this big huge box. It like
Yeah.
the box inside a box inside a box.
Oh, I know. I'm on Twitter. I followed the dramatic story of him tracking the package. You'd think it was a box full of insulin, and he was at death's door the way he was tracking that box.
Dad and me were on TikTok opening it. And my mom had a great idea for TikTok where it was like
a video where she returns it.
And my brother
A TikTok reboxing video. Here's a reboxing video of the $400 Galacticus doll.
Yeah, I need to say something. So my mom, which is wearing a purple shirt right now, she was like having an idea at supper for an idea for a TikTok, and she was like, "What if they chose my brother Logan and me dressed up as Hanukkah things with the same shirt as Dad? Me and Logan, we're gonna have the same shirt, and me and my dad and Logan, hopefully my brother can sing this song, but he's gonna say we're all gonna sing." Dreidel, 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 I made you out of snow, and then later on it's gonna show our mom, and then it's mom and me and Logan, and we're gonna be the Echo's going to play the Mariah Carey Christmas song, and it's gonna be like, ooh, ding, 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 all I want for Christmas is you, like that Mariah Carey song. And it's like gonna be like, oh, Hanukkah, and then Christmas.
So you're doing a real Hanukkah versus Christmas thing over there.
Yeah, my mom made it up.
I got bad news for you. Christmas wins every time. Oh, we just lost her. I don't know what happened. Yeah, Christmas. Oh, look, God, I love Hanukkah. Just fine. But this is how good Christmas is. Santa Claus is the opening act for Jesus. That's how good Christmas is. He's the opener. Who's in the studio? Griffin Newman. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing all right.
Well, thank you for coming by to hang out for a bit.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. No, I'm Jewish, and I agree with everything you just said. Hanukkah's fine, but it cannot compete. It loses every time.
The one big day versus 8.
I know. That's their real gambit, of course, is trying to make this quantity over quality pitch. We all know that Hanukkah is actually basically a second or third string holiday that got kind of promoted just because of scheduling. And they liked the idea of capitalizing upon this 8 thing. But like I'll say, growing up, Jewish kid in New York City, Jewish siblings, parents. We wanted to celebrate Christmas. We resented the fact that Hanukkah existed.
Sure.
And Hanukkah was, if you want to open a present early, you can open it on a night of Hanukkah. You will be subtracting from Christmas later.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Is how it was pitched to us. And so you're just like, let me just ride out, light the candles, spin the dreidel, and I'll wait for the big day.
Yeah. Now, did your family ramp up to the big present, or do you start big and then by like day 7 you got the socks? And
well, this is what I'm saying. Most of the time, my brother and I would be like, "We'll hold the presents for Christmas."
Yeah.
Even it's marshmallow test. You know.
What's that?
There's that psychological study where they put the marshmallow in front of a person and they go, if you can go 5 minutes without eating the marshmallow, we give you 2 marshmallows.
Okay.
Most people end up eating the marshmallow. They can't wait.
What is this? Dogs? They can't wait 5 minutes to eat a
Human
marshmallow?
behavior. I know.
Marshmallows are not that good.
I know. I'm saying my brother and I, we would look at each other and go, let's wait. Let's just wait till Christmas.
Oh, boy, that marshmallow's sure looking good in front of me. Oh, what are we at? 90 seconds? Oh, I don't know if I can make it. Oh, boy. Just imagine that marshmallow in my mouth. That gooey blob of nothingness.
Gooey, orange, cheesy liquid.
What was that?
Inside a marshmallow.
Orange.
I understood what she was saying. I tapped into that she must mean caramel, but it was the strangest. I understand she's a child.
Of course.
I don't judge her harshly, but it was a strange combination of orange, cheesy liquid.
I thought somebody filled up a box of Cheez-Its with water.
Right. Or someone's injecting something into the Snickers. Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to watch out over there on Candy Cane Lane or whatever they were saying. What was that? Trick or Treat Street.
Sure. They got a whole street for the thing now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, when I was a kid, I would just go so far out on Halloween. I would just go. I think I went into like different towns. Like my family was. I was to put it politely,
Sure.
under supervised.
Gotcha. Did you have siblings?
I have one sister.
Okay.
yes.
And would she trick or treat with you or not?
Yeah, for a long time.
For a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were together in
Sure.
our love of Halloween.
Okay.
And let me just say this. First of all, if anybody's out there saying, well, who's Griffin Newman?
Everyone's
First of all,
saying
nobody's
that.
saying that.
Everyone's saying that.
Everybody knows Blank Check podcast.
You got it. You nailed it.
The Blank Check podcast
Mm.
that you do with, what's his name? Dougie
Dougie
McMovies.
Dougie McMovies. David Sims.
David Sims.
Of the
and
Atlantic.
He's from the Atlantic.
Yes, he's serious.
And he's always the guy where you're like, I like Die Hard. And he's just like, what about the bicycle thieves?
It's a real Goofus and Gallant dynamic between the two of us. That's what we've tapped into.
It's actually a very interesting, very informative, long form podcast in the fact that you will take on a certain director.
Yes.
And you will go through the whole oeuvre.
We do the whole thing.
Yeah.
We do the whole thing. You did a Clifford episode with us, which was part of an isolated.
Yes.
It was not part of.
You were not going through Paul Flaherty's.
We weren't doing a Flaherty series.
Yes.
But usually, yes, we pick a director and we do the whole kit and caboodle.
Now, what's been the most challenging one that felt like a true slog for you to get through?
I pushed the Tim Burton thing uphill with my co-host for a while because I'm such a big fan of the first 10 or so.
Yeah. Most amazing career.
Correct.
Literally, it's like two sides.
Yep.
One side is good.
Yep.
This side is the worst.
Yep. And I'm such a fucking simp apologist that I will make contrarian arguments for some of the later ones. There's some of them I can barely muster up the energy, and there's some that I fully hate. But I argued for years, I think it's worth doing. The first half is so good, and the second half is not as dire as you think.
Yeah.
And I won the argument, and the first half was great, and the second half was interminable.
It's worse than you think. When
you're actually having to live in it week by week, because in real time, we had years in between those movies coming out to recover.
Yeah. And you're kind of like, oh, Planet of the Apes.
Maybe
that might be something.
Right,
And you're like,
but
when was that good? It sucked.
Right. It's the feeling when you're watching Alice in Wonderland and realizing next week I have to watch Dark Shadows. There's no break. You know?
Yeah. And
it never stops, as you would say.
And it's that thing with him where you're just like, did you not watch your own movies? And did you not understand your own filmography?
I will say this. This was the closest I came, because I think when we started doing the show, it was more we'd pick someone because we were sort of trying to figure them out. When the show started, we were really interested in people who sort of had the hot streak and lost it. So we started out with like Shyamalan and Cameron Crowe, the Wachowskis, and these people who had these huge dynamic movies and then sort of disconnected with the public.
And
struggle to find the thing.
Too big, the things get too bloated, whatever leads you to that point.
And you're like, they lost the pitch, whatever it is.
The thing that is a bond with giving the audience what they wanted from them.
Right. They were issued a blank check and then they failed to fulfill that bond. But now I think we maybe mostly because of the Burton experience, try to pick people who maybe have slightly more consistent careers, where the dips are not all stacked up in the second half. But we would used to try to figure out like what happened to this person. Why did they lose it? And the closest I could come to understanding Burton was I read some interview with him where he was like, I truly don't think I know what a good movie is. I don't think I have any perspective when I have made a film whether or not it's good. And I think when I watch a movie, my criteria of what I'm judging a film on is not actually in conversation with what anyone else is doing. And I realized the thing for him is he's surprised that for 15 years people liked his movies. I think he's not surprised that they stopped liking them. He's like, why were these working?
He didn't even know. He didn't know what was working to not know what wasn't working.
Exactly. And I think that's why Ed Wood is my favorite film of his.
Ed Wood is definitely my favorites are Pee-wee and Ed Wood.
Yes. And I think the reason Ed Wood is so good is because he looks at that guy and he's like, there but for the grace of God. I see no difference between myself and this guy. Except for 10 years, I've been showered with praise, and this guy was mocked. I don't think there's anything different in how the two of us see the world.
Yes, and that's why the thing that didn't happen in real life is the Orson Welles moment did not actually happen when Ed Wood runs into Orson Welles. So you have somebody who is perceived to be a genius meeting up with somebody who is perceived to be the worst filmmaker in history.
Yes,
and they had the same problems.
Right,
but it's a great it's a great metaphor for the struggle of making art.
Yes.
But holy guacamole, when you look at this thing, you go,
it's rough. It's really rough.
Because look, Mars Attacks, I love Mars Attacks.
I think it's a masterpiece, yeah. I'm with everything up until Planet of the Apes.
Even Sleepy Hollow?
I like Sleepy Hollow. Okay. It's a minor within the good run.
Sure.
But I'm with that.
But then when you get into this run, Planet of the Apes. Well, Big Fish is not so bad.
Big Fish I like a lot.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yuck. Corpse Bride. Not so good.
Yes.
Sweeney Todd. Not for me. Alice in Wonderland. The worst.
I think truly we've said the worst movie we've covered on the podcast. We've been doing it for 8 years, and when we're gun to a head asked what is the least pleasant thing you've had to watch, that is it, I think.
You think that's the one?
Yeah.
Dark Shadows was next, of course, you said. Then you get into Big Eyes, which is a little bit of a miss.
I stumped for it. I think it's at least him trying.
Exactly. Well, yeah, he's back with Alexander and Karaszewski, those guys who wrote Ed Wood.
He's trying to go back to the Ed Wood. Let me make a small adult character story.
Then you get into Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
But of course.
I didn't see it.
But of course, you didn't.
I sat that one out.
You didn't.
I get my fill. I think there's enough things documenting magical children.
Sure.
I feel like as a society, we have reached max capacity for magical children at a school.
Would you be surprised to hear it was based on a young adult book series?
What? No, it's of course I could see that coming.
Yeah.
All I needed was to see Miss Peregrine in the title, and I knew this was a book for children.
Yes.
And then a Dumbo.
Now, have you seen Dumbo?
I did not see Dumbo.
Dumbo, we kind of stumped for.
Okay.
Dumbo feels like the movie of Burton contending what happened with what happened to him.
Okay.
I think, and he did an interview recently where he said he kind of had a breakdown working on Dumbo, realizing that Disney is like this scary machine.
Yeah.
And the movie is like about that. The movie is like him as Dumbo, and everyone's like, "You're incredible. We can make so much money off of you."
Yeah.
Michael Keaton plays basically Walt Disney.
Okay.
And everyone's just sort of exploiting Dumbo. It's not a fully successful film.
Yeah.
But it's got a little life in it.
You know what I would say Tim Burton could have done in that circumstance was not make Dumbo.
Now, I agree with you. This is the problem.
He didn't have to make Dumbo to make that point. He could have written an essay.
Yes. The problem is I can only defend it so far because that argument is unbeatable.
Yes, because he just had to write, why I will not work for Disney anymore. He could have written it and posted it on the internet.
I mean, he's now doing the Wednesday Addams
the
TV show for Netflix, and that feels like another one where it's like, why get out of bed? We all can imagine. We can read that on a piece of paper and in our head project what 8 episodes of a Riverdale-style Wednesday Addams spinoff feels like.
Yes.
You don't need to do it. Yeah.
He did fire all his reps. Did you hear that?
No, is that
he
true?
He did, like a year or so ago.
I
heard he cleaned house.
I kind of like that.
Because he knows something's wrong.
He knows.
Yeah.
He does know. I think he doesn't know what to do, how to correct it.
Yeah.
But I think he does know. I would love to see him make a good movie again at some point.
I think he could do it if he maybe gets a little away from IP, for example.
The dreaded IP.
Maybe something doesn't have to have been a comic book or a children's book before.
Sure.
These guys with this stuff, man.
They love the IP.
They love this children's junk.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Dark Shadows in the theater, and I was just like, I wanted to like it so badly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't even know who this is for.
No.
It was for me, I thought.
In theory, right.
And then I realized, it isn't.
If not for me, then who?
Then for,
right.
Yeah, that was bleak.
Yeah.
So who's on blank check now? Who's
Stanley Kubrick?
Okay, the master.
The master. The master.
You got to see. You know the one you got to see is Barry Lyndon. I'm telling you, this is the secret masterpiece.
And you know what?
Of
And
the
people
catalog.
don't know it's actually a comedy. If you actually pay really close
It's
attention,
really
it's
funny.
funny.
He's
It's actually
dumb.
funny.
You watch it, and it's just like, boom, 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 3.5 hours. Look, I love Barry Lyndon.
I do too.
But
yeah.
I'm teasing the people
Yes.
who are so desperate to kind of reconfigure the perception
Yes.
of the catalog, of the oeuvre, the
Sure.
filmography, to say, actually, this one's the masterpiece.
I mean, I feel like you probably fall into this as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think on Blank Check a lot, we will make fun of things that people say, and then listeners will extrapolate from that. Why do you hate that movie?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to say, no, I actually like that movie a lot. I think the way most people talk about it is dumb. I am purely mocking the things that people say.
That's what gets me mad. 99% of the time, when I get mad at something, I'm not even mad at the thing.
No.
I'm mad at people talking about the thing.
I'm like, I basically like most things.
Yeah, and I'm just like...
And then people make me dislike things.
When people are like, oh, this thing is everything. I'm like, well, maybe not everything.
Let's cool
Now
it.
I'm mad at the thing.
Sure.
I'm mad at
right.
you and the thing.
You've made me mad at the thing, which was the opposite of what you were trying to do.
Stop making me mad at these things.
I know.
That's
Let
what
me
I say.
let me like things. That's
Can I like things?
ultimately let people like things.
That's all I say.
That's all I say.
It's very simple.
Mm.
Can I like a thing? Can you not just have to make everybody wants... There's always got to be a champion. Everybody
Yes.
wants to know who's the champion,
Yes.
who's the top of the pyramid,
Mhm.
who's the best. Every era needs a champion.
Yes.
And you need it. And in stand-up, the way it would be in stand-up when it would be like, oh, you knew the greatest stand-up, Chris Rock's greatest stand-up on the planet. And then suddenly he checked out of stand-up for a little bit, and suddenly it's like, well, who's the next best? And they're like, oh, Louis C.K.'s the best. Like, everybody has to declare who's the best right now.
We're all just fighting for number 2. It's not even a competition.
Yeah.
He's number 1.
But people
Yes.
are obsessed with who's the
one.
champ.
Yes.
And then it's after that, it's like, who's next? It's like, oh, John Mulaney's the best. And it's like, well, and I love John Mulaney. But it's just this panic
Yes.
to declare, to speak in absolutes.
Yeah, here's another thing. And different examples between these guys. Little pattern between the guys you mentioned. At some point, there's some sort of like backlash, whether it is their fault or not. It does feel like the second you get anointed the champion, you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah. No, then people gun for the champ.
Absolutely. And maybe perhaps the champ guns for themselves as well. I want to make it clear I'm not claiming this is a character assassination, but it does not feel like a comfortable place to be when everyone's saying, oh, undeniably the guy.
Yeah.
The number 1 guy. We all agree.
Have we not seen this before?
We know
how
where this goes. We know how it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You people don't want somebody to stay on top.
No.
You want them to get on top, then
Yes.
you're just kind of like, I think I hate them now.
Yeah. Tim Burton.
We
hate him. There was a moment where he was the champ, probably.
Tim Burton was the champ. Well, look, when he had Batman. Everybody loved Batman.
Biggest blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at it now and you're just kind of like, this one's not so good.
They wouldn't let him near Batman.
Can you imagine now a clunky Batman he'd make? The Batman he made.
Yes.
So much closer to the TV show than anybody
It is
thought.
wild. It is wild how much effort they had to spend going like, no, it's going to be very, very dark and serious, not like the Adam West show. And now you look at it and you're like, that was the last time Batman was fun.
Yeah, because then they're like, this Batman is dark. This Batman is serious. Oh, hey, what should we do for the music? Well, Prince wrote a song called Bat Dance.
He wrote an album. Prince wrote an entire album. He stewed on Batman long enough to whip out 8 tracks.
That was also the beginning of the end for Prince,
Yes.
too. That was the first bad Prince album, was that Batman album.
Right.
I know Dudio's going to, his head's going to explode. Do you know how many times Jason Dudio Gore saw Batman in a theater? The first Batman.
No.
Throw out a number.
I love Jason. I say this with no disrespect. I'm going to guess 8.
Oh, there's an 8 in the number. but drop a 3 in front of it. 38 times.
38 times in theaters.
He saw
Laughter
it
down the
38
halls.
times.
38 times at the wow. That is impressive.
One for Batman, please. Oh, this kid's back again. Imagine he comes walking up to the thing and they're just like, it's that Batman kid again.
They should have just let him sublet a seat at that point. Just said,
just like with a plaque.
Yeah.
Like when you like at the theater, like a
park
theater,
bench,
like a park bench,
Broadway theater,
just
nonprofit.
Exactly. Just like a brass plaque. Jason Gore.
He could have created like WeWork decades earlier. It's this is my cooperative workspace. This
we watch.
We watch.
We watch Batman.
Got my little plaque. This is where I go watch Batman. Yeah.
Yeah. 38 times. 38
times. I'm impressed. Yeah. I'm impressed. Because I like movies a lot. I've not gotten close to that number.
I saw Tron probably 12 times.
Really?
In the theater. Yes.
I love Tron.
I don't. I went and watched it. The first time I saw it after that run of clear cry for help, mental illness on display, going over and over to see Tron. Like I was at a theater near my house. I would ride my bike to the theater at the 7:30 show. Tron.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate low point, everybody.
Sure.
The theater was a really crappy old theater. I'd ride my bike. Partway through my Tron run, I started bringing a pillow to sit on because the theater seats were so uncomfortable. So I went up, one for Tron, please. And go up. I'd walk in with a pillow.
Yeah.
Chain my bike up. And then go sit and watch Tron again.
So you were basically crying out for someone to stop you from watching Tron. You were waiting for someone to go, Tom, what is going on here? Is this a problem? Yeah. Do you need to talk to somebody? And instead you kept buying tickets for Tron?
What was that? Who just grunted?
Gore?
It was a thing. What I was crying out for was another Star Wars movie, and this was the closest I was going to get.
Sure. When I was in middle school, our computers teacher decided to show us Tron. It was one of those, probably right before Thanksgiving or whatever, free-for-alls.
Yeah.
Where they're like, if any teacher has an idea for something that could take up 4 periods and the rest of us can clock out early, please raise your hand. The computer teacher said, I think if I show the kids Tron, they'll have a better understanding of how computers work.
Sure.
It's a very realistic film.
No, of course it is, because there's the master control program, and they send the different characters to the battle.
Yes.
Battle grid.
Got to do discus.
The game grid.
They got to do the discus.
Yeah.
So I had already seen Tron several times at that point. I was a big fan of Tron as a similar lonely boy crying out for help, and I talked it up to everybody. I was like, you don't know how fucking lucky we are. Yeah. This is going to be one of those dumb movies they make us watch for school. This is Tron. Tron rips. Get ready. Yeah. And we start, and that film opens with the opening Chiron explaining, like, in the computer, there is this and that. It just dumps like 6 pages worth of exposition. Yeah. Everyone checks out immediately. Everyone checks out. And then the film does not really have a crackerjack start. It's pretty slow. It's pretty leisurely paced. Everyone's like done. So now people are like punching each other and French kissing each other and yelling and doing bits and whatever. The teachers are trying to calm everyone down. And the computer teacher stands up and he pauses the movie and he goes like, if you don't pay attention and watch Tron, we're going to make you all go back to class. You're going to have to do actual schoolwork. Yeah. And someone raises their hand and says, but it's too late for us to watch the movie now because none of us know what happened in the first 30 minutes. And one kid cries out from the back of the room, Griffin knows what happens in Tron.
Oh my God.
And they made me stand in front of the class and explain the lore of Tron to avoid having to do schoolwork. And I had to reveal the depth to which I knew the labyrinthian plot of Tron.
So you're up there saying, does anybody remember Sark? It's character Sark. Because there's Flynn, who was...
he fights for the users.
Yeah, he fights for the users.
Right.
And the other thing about this Tron 2 that they made...
Legacy.
Tron Legacy. There's a moment when he's like, I'm going back to the arcade. And all the games are still there. It's like, there's like $2 million worth of vintage arcade games, and they're just covered in tarps.
Covered in cobwebs.
Yeah, it's like as if you just who's paying rent on this place?
Right. You open that in Gowanus, you make $1 million first week. You put that collection of arcade machines.
You just open up, you're rich.
The hippest neighbor. You put in Silver Lake.
Could you imagine you have every vintage game untouched since 1982?
Cobwebs. Who's paying rent on this? Tron. Yeah.
Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a couple calls. Is that all right?
Please, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Sit back and relax. It's a fun show. Fun show we got.
Having a great time. Thank you for having me here.
Let me go here. Okay, hot phones. Going to the phones. Phones. Here we go. Phones. Best show.
Yeah, hi. Looking for Tom. Hang on. Tom. I know I'm close. Tom Norpelstromp. Is that right? Is that what it is?
No, it's not. It's not Norpelstrop. Tom is correct. It's Tom Scharpling.
Oh, okay, got it. Hi, Tom. This is Dimitri at Halloween Haven up on Gus Brennan Boulevard. I'm just checking to see if you were aware that those costumes you rented on Sunday were due back today.
The costumes I rented.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Well, it says here you rented our entire set of ER cast member costumes, including Nurse Adams, Dr. Carter, Nurse Marquez, Dr. Green, Dr. Kovac, Dr. Dubenko, and several others. That's not ringing a bell? Is that correct?
This is not ringing a bell.
You're sure? It's 13 sets of lab coats, stethoscopes, and clipboards. It's the name tags that really make them special. But you don't have those. Is that correct?
I do not.
Oh, must be some sort of error here. Hey, what is this? A radio show? What are you doing?
Well, it is. It's a radio show. It's a live radio show that becomes a podcast the next day. Tomorrow.
Cool. Like Wendy Williams or Joe Rogan or Rush Limbaugh Jr.?
I didn't know there was a Rush Limbaugh Jr.
Oh, he's great. He's really good.
How old is Rush Limbaugh Jr.?
It's interesting. He's 17, but he's totally bald.
That is interesting. That is actually very interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, well, now that I know I'm on the air, is my audio okay?
Your audio is outstanding, Dimitri.
Oh, good. I was hoping because I got one of those new ultra clear phones at Radio Hut. Have you heard about these things?
The new Radio Hut phones. I've heard of them. I don't have one. I know people are really getting jazzed about that stuff.
Yes. Word of warning. They're great. Although I wish the fuel tank was a little less obtrusive.
There's a fuel tank?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sounds so clear because of the little engine attached to it that powers the crystal clear audio generator. But the intake hole, it's pretty tiny, and the gasoline tends to, to spill everywhere because the funnel they give you isn't quite the right size.
So this is a gas-powered phone.
Yeah.
Well, that does not sound particularly practical.
Well, it sounds really good, but honestly, it's because the fuel's so it's so messy. The phone's both slippery and also flagrantly flammable at the same time. So it's a real catch-22.
It sounds like a real catch-22.
Yeah. Hey, do you play records on your show?
Sometimes.
Oh, maybe you can help me with this. Some guy was in the store today returning a Todd Rundgren costume, and he was singing this song that was so powerful, really cinematic. It really just had like this feeling that's from another planet. But he left before I could ask him what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I only caught like one line of it, and I'm sure you'll know what it is. I'll sing it for you if that's okay.
Oh yeah, maybe I can guess it. Sure.
It went something like, outside the streets on fire, it's a real Death Wish 7. What is that?
That's not Todd Rundgren.
Oh.
And you got some words wrong in it. It's a Bruce Springsteen song called Jungle Land. But you said
Jungle Fight. What's it called? Jungle Fight?
No, Jungle Land. And you said
Jungle Land.
You said that on the streets on fire in a real
Death Wish 7.
It's Death. No, it's not Death Wish 7.
Oh, but it is Bruce Springsteen.
It is Bruce Springsteen, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be the theme to that Death Wish sitcom that the Shout Network aired in the late 80s, Kersey's Kids, but it's not that.
Kersey's Kids? You mean Paul Kersey?
Yeah.
I didn't know they did a Death Wish TV series.
Well, yeah, it didn't last long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was Kersey's Kids because Charles Bronson's character was named Paul Kersey.
Yes, yeah.
And this is Kersey's Kids.
Yes, and basically, you know something that people don't really realize when they watch these violent movies with high body counts is that not only are the families of the good guys who were killed damaged and irrevocably altered, but so are the families of the banditos that the hero killed.
The banditos.
See, yes.
Oh, see, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, the log line for Kersey's Kids was street justice vigilante is found culpable in the deaths of 5 looters and must take in and raise their children, often with hilarious results.
So because he was found guilty of murdering people, the court assigned him to be like a foster parent?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Perfectly worded. Yeah.
To 5 children.
Yeah. It's a spinoff from Death Wish 3. So all the children he has to take care of are young punk rockers.
Oh, so like kind of like from the gang from the movie.
Yes.
From Manny Fraker.
Yeah.
Manny Fraker was the guy who ran the gang in Death Wish 3.
Right. Yes. So some of his henchmen had kids, and then that, of course, so there's no one to raise them now. So it's these kids aged like, 6 to 17. Leaving Jr. actually played the youngest kid, Thrasher.
Wait, who did?
Leaving Jr.
From Fear.
Yes. Yeah.
His son
Mm-hmm.
was in Kersey's Kids.
Yes, yeah, and the great thing, my favorite part of Kersey's Kids was that Thrasher's catchphrase was that great line that everyone loves from Death Wish 3. I'm sure you know what it is.
Well, I mean, of course I do. You're talking about the scene when he was on the fire escape.
Yes.
When Bennett was on the fire escape.
Right.
And the gang and he pulls out this old machine gun from World War II to start mowing down the creeps.
Right.
And then the gun jams and you hear the most obvious loop line saying, and I'm not going to say the word, it says, "It's not working. Kill the MFer."
Yeah.
Screamed and like
yeah.
And they come up the fire escape and beat him up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So he said that line a lot, and it got big laughs. And they sometimes they bleeped it, and sometimes they didn't.
So sometimes they would just let it ride on network television.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was on at 10:30.
Oh, okay. So they would allow the F word at 10:30 on television.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, not to toot my own horn, but before I was
hold on,
forced out
before you move on, not to toot what?
Toot my own horn?
Horn. Please, that's a very bad one.
Is that what it is?
It's horn.
I've been saying it that way my entire life.
Yeah,
and no
and
wonder everybody hates me.
Everybody hates you, right?
Oh my God.
It's
I
Horn.
said it 5 times before I just said it today.
Just trust me on this one, Dimitri.
Oh,
Horn.
okay. I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, before I was forced out of the biz, I wrote and sang the theme songs for a bunch of Shout Network shows back in the late aughts.
Okay, like which ones?
Well, I'll sing the one that's probably most well known, and I'm sure you and all your listeners will get it immediately. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Oh.
Okay. And there will always be a seat at the table when love comes home.
There'll always be a seat at the table when love comes home.
Yes.
And what is that from now?
Are you serious?
I am.
Oh.
What is it?
It's the theme song to the very powerful yet short-lived Shout Network show, The Morning Zoo.
There was a show called The Morning Zoo.
Yes. It only ran for 8 episodes, though.
Okay, and what was that show about?
Well, honestly, it was a pretty innocuous, fairly predictable sitcom about a divorced dad who gets visitation rights every other weekend with his I think he had 4 children. Yeah.
Okay.
And so half of an episode is his crazy life as a wild radio DJ, almost like Johnny Fever, and the other half is him trying to be a good dad to his kids when he gets them, on Friday night. So, and it was a cool show that never got a chance. Firstly, because of its name. I guess they thought it was clever for the main character's name to be Bobby Morning, but spelled with an OU, like mourning the dead.
Sure. So they went with okay.
So to the casual viewer who's just like seeing this in TV Guide or whatever, it looked like it was going to be a super depressing drama about like an animal cemetery or something.
Like a morning zoo.
Yes. Isn't that weird?
It's very tragic when you say it that way.
Yeah. And at one point, Stephen King got wind of it, and he was going to go full cork press on the Shout Network until they ironed it out.
Full what?
Full cork press? What?
Full court press, not cork.
What is it? Oh, I thought it was cork.
It's not cork, Dimitri.
Crap. All right. Well, anyway, the show went serious way too early.
Mm-hmm.
4th episode.
Yeah.
Well, basically, Bobby, played by the great Jackie Earle Haley, he takes the kids on a drive, and during this drive, he swerves to miss a hedgehog that's in the road, and they go over a guardrail, and they end up upside down in the car in a gulch. No one saw it happen, though, so no one knows they're down there.
So they're stuck in the gulch. They're
stuck there. No one's killed, but 2 of the 4 kids are unconscious, and Bobby has this huge gash across his face. Like there's blood in his mouth. Like I said, no one knows they're down there, so it's really terrifying. It's like a sitcom too. So the whole episode is basically Bobby telling the kids his life story, and in the process of telling them, he reveals his real name is Hans Kreutzendruber, a former Gestapo agent who escaped Germany in a piano crate and had flagrantly drastic plastic surgery and was given a new life as a hard partying DJ in Indianapolis.
So he was literally a Nazi.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
In disguise.
Yeah. I mean, that's a 5th season idea if ever there was one. I mean, like, imagine if Steve Urkel got arrested for poisoning that neighbor in season 1 and not in season 5. It would be a whole different thing.
Well, he didn't poison the neighbor, did he?
No, you're right. He stabbed him in the eye.
That I don't know if he did that either.
Well, he kidnapped someone, didn't he?
Look, I didn't watch that show very closely, so it could have happened.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm right.
Okay.
But yeah, but you know,
let's just say you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. So anyway, by the 8th episode of the Morning Zoo, they, you know, that episode tanked them, so they know it's going to be canceled. So they went all out on what was going to be the final episode, which only aired once.
The final episode only aired once, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's too shocking to describe over the over public airwaves, but I'll just say it involved a pep rally, a stolen Hummer, and a homemade guillotine.
Well, that sounds gruesome.
I know, right?
No wonder that show. But you did the music. What did you do now?
Well, I wrote the theme for it.
The theme for this.
Oh yeah, yeah. And by 2008, I became the main writer for all the Shout TV themes. They were even calling me Alan Thicker, and not just because of my.
Yeah, I had to bleep that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to impress some people out there. Crap. Okay. But I did a lot of themes. Off the top of my head, Uncle Steve's Place, Trust Your Mechanic, Shorty and the Iceman, Flesh Dunce, The Overnight.
Flesh Dunce.
Yes. When You Get Drafted, Safety Last, Terminal Preppy, The Peligros, Gone with My Wind, to name just a couple.
You had a good run. You had a good run.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And I was getting real well known in that world. And wouldn't you know it, I'm getting some heat, and I get approached by this veteran manager named Rupert. And as the old cliche goes, he said, I'm going to make you a star.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Well, first thing Rupert did was change my name to Todd Flexman.
Todd Flexman.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
He said it sounded a lot sexier than my real name,
which is
Dimitri Y. Hofnagel.
I see what Rupert was talking about.
Yeah, he said, I'm so tired of these names that sound like questions. Like, I guess it's a thing.
Names that sound like questions.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your name again?
Dimitri Y. Hofnagel.
So the Y he's read it. He saw his like literally Y.
The word Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dimitri, comma, Y Hofnagel.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So he thought that would not be good for my career, and I was in agreement on that. And I honestly, I've never been sure of the origins of the name Hofnagel, but I was told that that's for the best.
Well, look, sometimes you just don't want to overturn those rocks.
Yeah. So Rupert, he got me signed to this very hip label called Matador. Have you ever heard of them?
Matador Records. Yeah, I have. I did not know you were signed. I don't remember Todd Flexman being on Matador.
Well, there's a reason. But so I get signed. The night I got signed, oh my God, I thought I knew how to party. One of those guys, he really knows how to party.
And who is that?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the guy in Texas. So we cut a couple singles with this guy, Britt Daniel, producing. Have you heard of him? He has a band called The Spoon.
Britt Daniel. They're called Spoon, not The Spoon.
Oh crap! I'm finding out that I've embarrassed myself a million times, and I never even knew about it. I was calling them The Spoon in front of them.
No, they're just called Spoon.
All right, good guy though. Never sweats. Never saw him sweat.
Well, that's an attribute, huh?
Yeah. So first single we do is this song I thought was pretty good. It's called "Do You Feel It?" and then in parentheses was the words "My Thing." So I was getting some pretty good airplay in parts of some really key states like Maine, Delaware, and Alaska.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the major markets.
Yeah, big stuff. But I'll be honest, by that point, Rupert, he was already starting to lose his spark a little bit. He was an older guy, so he started dropping the ball and pulling various choke jobs.
How old are we talking?
Well, back then, Rupert was probably 70.
Okay, that's getting up there for a manager of a new artist.
Yeah, I think he's at least 100 now. But so fast forward a little bit, a couple months, I meet this young lady at a BMI convention, and we hit it off. She's a singer. I'm a singer. We get engaged. Things are going great, but Tom, you know how it is. I mean, we're men. Our eyes and sometimes other parts of us experience a flagrant wanderlust.
Okay. Interested to see where this goes.
Well, let's just say one specific part of me did a lot of wandering, and I ended up, really getting involved with and falling for this other woman who, though she would later try to kill me in a cement mixer, totally had me in her thrall.
Okay. All right. Tell me more.
Okay. So, all right. So anyway, so I'm still with my fiance, and we had these plans to go have a really nice dinner at Los Amigos FP, which is, it's very exclusive, very hard to get into unless you have severe juice or on a first name basis with the host, Ramon.
Okay.
So I get to the restaurant early, and I go up to Ramon and I say, "Hola, mi amigo," which for some reason he really seemed to hate. I could see it in his eyes.
Well, maybe he thought it was patronizing. Is there?
I don't know. He was angry. So I go, I need a special table because I'm going to break up with my fiance tonight. And he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Flex." And then, stupid me, I start telling Ramon all the things about my soon-to-be ex-fiance that really bugged me. And I turn around, and my fiance has been standing behind me the whole time with her parents.
With her parents.
And a video crew from Entertainment Tonight.
Sure. And like what things they were rolling film at the time. And what things were you saying?
I mean, I made up half of it.
Okay.
So it was really bad stuff, but I don't want to say.
Sure.
I can't say, but they got it all on film, and that was basically it for old Todd Flexman.
Yeah, that's a good way to. I could see that being. That's a wrap on Todd Flexman.
It was, and Ramon even pulled my pants down.
Can you stop rolling the R's on Ramon? It's very patronizing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Very offensive.
Okay. Ramon even pulled my pants down and shoved me into the dining room. It was packed dining room, and it was so embarrassing. Everyone from George Clooney to Naomi Judd saw my junk.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Very, very sad, as our former president would say. Very sad.
He would say that.
Yeah. But what totally sucks about this whole thing is that my fiance went on to pretty substantial success.
Really?
Yes.
Please tell me more about the success.
Well, you know her as Lana Del Rey.
Oh, okay. Sure. That was your fiance.
Yes. Do you know that song Dark Paradise on Born to Die?
Oh, I definitely do. Yes.
Well, it's about me.
Oh, no. That's a rough one. That is a really rough one.
It is. And I had to say, I'm very thankful that though it's known here, it wasn't really a big hit in America, but it was a top 5 song in Poland. I'm not kidding. And to this day, once a month, I get somebody from Poland tracking me down, asking me to sign a copy of the single.
Because you're the subject matter.
Yes, there's a whole group of these sickos out there who collect records signed by the person the song's about.
That is a strange thing I did not know about.
Awful. Trying to think of some examples. Train in Vain by The Clash, signed by Viv Albertine by the Slits, from the Slits. Sweet Home Alabama, signed by Neil Young. Death on Two Legs by Queen, signed by their manager, Norman Sheffield.
Okay.
G.G. Allen's You Hate Me, I Hate You, signed by Michelle Pfeiffer.
I didn't know that G.G. Allen wrote a song about Michelle Pfeiffer and how much they hated each other.
Yeah, they dated for a few months. She was shooting some flick in New Hampshire, and they met. I guess he was doing some grip work, And then he really started doing some grip
J.G.
work.
Allen was doing grip work on a Michelle Pfeiffer movie.
Yeah, he was apparently very good. Very good. Very,
He does not seem
yeah.
reliable.
Good work ethic, from what I heard.
Well, more power to him, I guess. I don't know what to
Yes.
say to that.
Yeah, I don't know. So I get dropped by Matador because of how horrible I was made to look. And so Rupert and I, we put out a single on our own label, Rupertronic Soundscapes. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Rupertronic Soundscapes. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But my name was Mud. I couldn't get anything going, and it was a good song too. It was much harder than the tepid crap I'd been doing before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I sang it with real conviction because it was a real life story, and the chorus was great. It was you got me living like a dog in a literal dog cage, which was true.
You were living in a dog cage.
I was. I'll tell you, man, love makes you do strange things. Living in a dog cage for one, and truthfully, it was a crate. It wasn't really a cage.
Okay.
Yeah, but still, it's quite a life, right? I don't know, man.
That's
oh boy.
Yeah, and now you're checking on whether the Halloween costumes are returned.
Well, don't be condescending. It's looking like I'm going to be assistant manager. So
that's exciting. I'm not judging it.
So hold your contempt. I can hear it dripping off your.
It's not.
Your tongue.
Well, no contempt from me. Wait, what?
Oh,
what?
No.
What?
Oh no.
What?
Oh, no.
What?
Well, I guess what they say about the best show being the favorite podcast of the entertainment business's oldest, most decrepit, but also most violent manager is true.
Okay. How so?
It's Rupert.
Rupert, he's 100.
Yeah. He must have heard me saying he dropped balls and pulled choke jobs, and I'm looking out the window and he's in the Halloween Haven parking lot right now, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, he just pulled up on his hospital bed on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll be honest. Truthfully, right now, I'm not really that afraid of Rupert. It's the two troglodytic goons who push him around in the hospital bed who really freak me the F out.
I would be scared of all of it if I was
It's
you.
bad. Well, I'm going to shut out all the lights and pretend that we were never open. So I'll do that right now. And please just return the costumes tomorrow, please.
They're not my costumes.
I'm already getting calls to hold Dr. Kavanaugh and Nurse Willoughby. So if you could just do that, that would be much appreciated.
Can I say one final thing to you?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Every time I close my eyes, it's like a dark paradise. Oh, I didn't mean to make you cry. I thought you'd think it was funny.
No.
I thought you
Why did she do that to me? All I did was do something really awful to her.
That's all you did was say something really awful.
And yeah, I did some terrible things too that I'm not going to tell you.
We're not.
now.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How about that? Let's see. Let me check the time here. So what about this? We got a Rob Halford interview we're going to go to next. Let's talk for a few more minutes.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
Is that all
yeah,
right?
no, happily.
Griffin
Yes.
Newman. Now, Griffin, I'm going to just say this.
Yes. Do it.
I love your acting.
Thank you.
The Tick, you took on the Arthur
Yes,
role.
yes.
You previously inherited from Mickey Dolenz.
Mickey Dolenz was the originator. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You took over and kept did you go to him did you ever come across him in anything?
I messaged with him.
Okay.
I did. I've not gotten to meet him in person yet. There've been a couple near misses. He's been very nice and supportive, but we all are in Mickey's shadows. You cannot avoid stepping in his footsteps, so you have to just do it with a confidence and an awareness that you owe it all to the big man, to the Mixter.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. The other acting you did you do some voice things. You do a lot of voice things.
Yes.
Like where could we hear your voice?
Masters of the Universe Revelation, the He-Man reboot for Netflix. That is. I play Orko.
Okay.
I'm in a Disney movie.
Okay.
Coming out called Disenchanted.
Okay.
I play a little chipmunk.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things, Dicktown.
With John Hodgman
and David Rees. That's a wonderful show. Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes back.
I hope so, yeah. It's one of my favorite shows.
And hopefully they give me they put me in it. I don't know. Apparently my number got lost when it was time to cast one of the 38 roles that they had in the 2 seasons of Dicktown they've done. Apparently the S card fell out of Hodgman's Rolodex.
Sure.
And and David Rees's Rolodex.
I mean, the fact that it was both of theirs.
It's like a bird flew by and picked both of their Rolodexes.
2 independent Rolodexes.
Rolodex-I.
Rolodex-I, sorry.
Yeah. No, but then the thing I love the most, is the George Lucas talk show. You bring Watto to life, the great character Watto.
The haggling, gambling addict junk shop owner.
Yes.
From the Phantom Menace.
That some might say is...
Anti-Semitic stereotype.
Yes.
And I, as a Jew, was very drawn to this character as a child. And then over time have tried to reckon with why he speaks to me so deeply.
I think if it's offensive when people say that George Lucas does these broad racial caricatures of things, because look, in the original Star Wars trilogy, he had these little creepy characters who just were only interested in selling and things, and their names were Jawas, which is a J and an A and a W. When Jew is an J and an E and a W.
It's very different.
It's very different.
Yes.
It's so different. But Watto, and this is what the thing everybody wants to hear. You were doing a live charity fundraiser episode of the George Lucas Talk Show.
This show is Connor Ratliff, the great Connor Ratliff plays George Lucas. Patrick Kottner's our producer, and during the pandemic, we did it for years on stage in New York. And during the pandemic, we would do these very long marathon streams where we try to raise money for different charitable causes at the beginning of the lockdown.
Yes, and so everything was on the table to raise money, and there was one where you're locked in because you needed to do a long show, so you had a nice sandwich in front of you.
We'd go 12 hours. We'd have to eat multiple meals on camera, and we start the stream, and I'm so excited that my pastrami sandwich has arrived. I call out my excitement to eat this pastrami sandwich.
And then I was looking to donate money to the cause, which was which I forget which charity was at that point. They were all very... They were very worthwhile charities.
I don't remember.
This is not like the Alec Baldwin thing where he's saying "My promote the this will go to the arts." And he's like, "This will go to the orchestra." I'm like, "What, the orchestra?"
We would. I think we'd pick good targets, but you would engage in what I heard you yourself refer to as antagonistic philanthropy.
So I basically. And I'm not proud of this, and I am proud of it at the same time. It's one of those things.
I think you should be.
I said, how much to get you to throw that pastrami sandwich off your fire escape?
I think you first said, I will give $100 if you throw the pastrami off the fire escape.
I think we did a lot more than 100.
Well, no, I think you at first threw out a number as a joke, and I said, there's absolutely no scenario in which I throw this off a fire escape for $100. I'm dying to eat this.
Yeah.
And then the question became, what is the number?
Okay. And then the number became...
I think it was $1,000.
I think it was $1,000 donation to this worthwhile charity.
Yes.
And you drop that thing off the fire escape, and there's a moment, the look in your eyes.
9th floor. There's no way that sandwich is coming back. It's a 9-floor, 9-story drop.
And you looked so sad.
It was look, it was a dark time for all of us.
Oh no, we were all locked in our homes.
It's like April, May 2020.
The world is on fire with racial horror.
Yes.
At that point.
You're looking for any little sliver of joy you can find. And for me that day, it was the idea of eating this pastrami sandwich, which had just arrived and looked so good.
Yeah.
Lean cut.
Yeah. And then
It was truly, I could hear the sound effect. It did feel like a slide whistle and a and a boom.
This is all I'll say to you.
Mm.
When anytime I do those things, like the most recent one, I was like, "Yeah, I'll give $500 if Patrick cooks some toilet paper and eats it." It was a joke.
Well,
I meant that as I swear on my mother's eyes.
Yeah.
I wrote that. May God strike me. May Christ strike me down right now.
Yeah.
May Christ. Oh no, I'm kidding. Like that's the Don Rickles joke. He'd be like on the Tonight Show. He'd be like, "Hey, Johnny, I want to tell you a thing. If God strike me down." I throw these things out as jokes on the thing, and then Patrick's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And I was like, I seriously immediately started saying, "No, this is a joke."
I was gonna say, I didn't know if you wanted me to pull the curtain back, but we were raising money for a National Abortion Access Fund. It was right after Roe v. Wade had been stricken down, and we ended up raising $40,000. It was the biggest single stream we had for one of these. And I think you offered even more money than that.
Yeah.
But you said if you cook toilet paper.
Yeah.
And so Patrick takes out a frying pan, he puts some oil on it. We cover it in marinara sauce. We try to zhuzh it up whatever way we can. And you almost immediately start texting Patrick and say,
"Please don't."
If I thought you were going to do this, I would have come up with a funnier thing.
Yeah, because
your
it's also
defense was
disgusting.
that's a first draft.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have said yes to this.
But it's also truly disgusting.
It was terrible. I mean, I ended up eating about half of it, which was not even part of the donation, but it felt like the spirit caught me.
Yeah. The spirit.
A fork and knife. I lit a little candle and I did like a little Lady and the Tramp red tablecloth eating of this toilet paper. It was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad. It tasted bad.
Well, I just want to take this opportunity to apologize.
You
to
owe
you.
no.
Okay, well, that's all I'm saying. And
You owe no apology.
I also want to thank you for coming by. This is so exciting. Griffin Newman, you're one of my favorite people. You're endlessly interesting to me.
Thank you. I feel that way about you.
For 100 hours.
I feel that way about you. It's very kind of you to say.
Well, what can we look forward to next from a Griffin Newman?
The Blank Check. We're doing Kubrick right now, and then after that, we'll be doing Henry Selick.
Okay.
Starting right up. You got new movie Wendell and Wild's very good. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have not seen it
It's
yet.
an interesting movie. And then this Disney film Enchanted comes out November 18th.
Okay.
On Disney Plus. I'm a little wisecracking chipmunk. I'm trying to gad my way to the bank. I would love to ride this thing like a bucking bronco.
Right there. That's the moment.
That's the moment. That's the moment where the pastrami has just been dropped. And you see in my eyes, I know.
Yeah.
I know that it will be hours before I end up getting any new food.
The look in that person's eye says, "I don't know if I'm going to make it through this pandemic."
Truly. No, truly. And I'll say, actually, because I often forget this part of the story, you then doubled the bet. Or the donation, I should say. It wasn't a bet.
Yeah.
You doubled the donation where if instead of reordering the pastrami or anything that would have been better, easier, or faster, if I ordered Chuck E. Cheese. So I ordered Chuck E. Cheese pizza, which took about 3 hours to arrive, and was
no control over that.
Was not very good.
Yeah,
was not very good. Yeah.
Well, I thank you. You've given me so much entertainment. You helped me get through the pandemic, and I thank you.
You really you helped the show a lot, not just in terms of donations, but many of those streams were on hour 6 and we're running on fumes. And you say, "Well, this is a joke. I don't actually want you to do this, but we need something at that point in time. You're giving us material."
I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you. Griffin Newman, everybody. Now, give me this camera. We're going to go we're going to go right now. We're going to play the interview I did with literally the #1 legend of heavy metal, the one and only Rob Halford. I'm telling you, this is a good interview. We talk about comedy, heavy metal parking. Just play the interview. Let's do it. Well, look, the thing is, on the best show, sometimes the guests we get, it's full on bottom of the barrel dregs, but every once in a while we get an actual legend comes through the door, and this is as legendary as you could possibly get. This is the metal god, the future Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee 1 month from now, author of Biblical, which I read, in a furious panic. I got a copy a day and a half ago, read it in a flash. It's amazing. What a great book. We have the legend Rob Halford here with us. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing even better now after that phenomenal introduction. It's nice to know. It's nice to know that I'm not a dreg. The
Yes.
Dreg. Is that a punk band from the 70s? The Dregs.
I think the Dregs. Yeah, I think there were the Dixie Dregs, who were not a punk band. But then there were probably the Dregs also. So when you waited so long to write your autobiography, Confess. But then you got kind of right back on the horse in the scheme of things with a second book. What was the impetus to do one so relatively soon after the first one?
I think it's a little bit like when you're in a band and you're writing songs. When the machine is rolling and roaring along, you're having such a great ride, and you're experiencing things creatively that are so special and so exciting that sometimes it's difficult to put the brakes on, and that's how it was with myself and Ian Gittins when we finished the Confess book, because by then I'd already got this kind of thing in the back of my mind, this little seed, which is where all the ideas come from, no matter what you do in a creative sense. Why don't we take the Holy Bible with revelations and temptations and lamentations and all of these other beautiful parts of life, and put them in a book that we can utilize to send out the messages of what it takes to get to be whatever you want to be or try to be in heavy metal rock and roll. And that was where we took the idea from, and it was like, it was pretty quick. It was pretty quick, and I think that all these years later, who knew, as I was entering my 70th year, that I was going to have the opportunity to make, firstly, the autobiography Confess, which, in retrospect, I think the best autobiographies take place later on in the life of the individual.
Sure.
Because by then you've experienced so much in life, and you feel you have something you might, be able to share, and people may have interest in. And so, it was new. It was new, and I loved it. I enjoyed it so much that Biblical was waiting to go right after we completed Confess.
Yeah, and it's a really nice second book also in the scheme of things, because it kind of expands upon, well, you told your story, and now you can go deeper into certain aspects, and it was really funny and thrilling. And the funny part of it, one of the big things I came away with was it's so clear how you've needed to have a sense of humor to stay alive and to stay successful and thriving after 50 years in this line of work. How important is that to you?
It's vital. It's absolutely vital. I'm really glad that I have that part of me that's alive, because what we do is serious stuff. The whole thing of blood, sweat and tears into making a song or making an album or making a band or making a tour is true. It's real. It happens. But if you're not able to find the balance to be able to kind of step away from that, step outside the box and look in and look and see what you're doing and the way you're behaving, if you can't look at some of that and smile or laugh, then that's a shame. That really is a shame.
Yeah.
And I think that if you look at anybody that's had the blessings of success in the music industry or in the movies or whatever, people always seem to be coming out with these expressions of joy and happiness and laughing and stories and anecdotes about what they've experienced to get to the place that they're at.
Yeah, and you make so many references to, you reference Ab Fab and Steptoe and Son, and you're really, I was like, wow, Rob's deep in the sitcoms here. What about Are you an Alan Partridge fan?
Oh yes, huge. That guy's a genius.
Oh my goodness!
Same with Sacha Baron Cohen. These people, Lenny Bruce, George Carlin. They're so important. They're so important to us on various levels. Some of them very deep and provocative and stimulating, so yes, I come from a family where there was always laughter, no matter the circumstances. We were always having a good time as much as we could, and having humor and joy in your life is important. It completes us as people.
Absolutely. And one of the sections I thought was a blast is when you talked about heavy metal parking lot, and you really, I think you explained it it just hits that sweet spot of you can laugh with the kids in the parking lot, but you're not laughing at the kids in the parking lot because they're having the time of their lives. Look, there's a little warts and all, like some of some of them might not be the way they were in 86 in 2022. Maybe, some evolution could take place with one or two of the kids. But on the whole, there's just a purity to hanging out and getting to see your favorite band is a beautiful thing.
It's a complete validation of everything that you're connecting yourself to. No different to tailgate parties before a ball game. In that structure, I've always made references all the time between sports and music, because this whole sustenance that's given to us by fans, our fans. Without our fans, we have nothing, or without our fans, we really can't complete what we're setting out to complete. You hear about a ball game being won because the fans were screaming, to get that point, or to get that hoop, or to get that goal. And so this heavy metal parking lot has become like this little microcosm of like anthropology and society and culture as in that moment of time. It's a beautiful piece of work. It's very funny, it's very sweet, but it's very true.
Yeah. And as somebody, I grew up in New Jersey, so that was I think was it Baltimore. I think it's a Maryland. It was the show in Maryland was where heavy metal parking lot was, just outside DC. And it's so funny, the accent, that Baltimore accent,
what a great accent.
And that classic a jump is bounds, the bounds.
I need to have a t-shirt made with that on. I wonder if that lady trademarked that.
Yeah. Now, at what point, you having this amazing long career, at what point did you realize, like, oh my God, I might be able to do this for my life? Was there a moment? Because we never know how long or short things are going to be. Projects, bands, TV, writing for, TV shows, whatever we all do. Who knows how long things go? But what was the moment when you realized, wow, this is not stopping?
I think it was when my knees started to ache.
So you're on the wrong side of it then?
There's a great, I don't know, I always remember this great moment in a Beatles interview when they were just exploding, and somebody says to Ringo, do you think this is going to last? And he goes, oh, probably not. And she goes, what are you going to do? Oh, I think I might open a hairdressing salon, So it really is that, again, when you are in the public domain, without your fans taking you along, you don't know how long it's going to take or how long it's going to last. You have no clue. You really have no idea. And because in our world, at least Priest's world, we seem to go in these 5-year cycles from thinking about writing a record, to writing the songs, to recording the songs, to get the record ready for release, to going out on these big world tours. 3 to 5 years is just, it like evaporates. You do that 3 or 4 times and there's over a decade that's gone.
Yeah.
And that's how it is with with a lot of bands in that respect that have had a longevity. But I will say this: for a band to have been able to continue working for over 50 years and to still be relevant and to still be loved and to still have all of the right ingredients and components to make it real and believable and coming from the truest, purest place, it is extraordinary. It is extraordinary. I don't know of any other heavy metal band that's had this remarkable opportunity to go on for so long.
No, it's really an amazing thing, and I think one of the reasons why it does continue with the strength is that you never said, well, we're a legacy act, we're just looking, remember the 70s, remember the 80s. It's like Judas Priest has always had a foot in terms of, yes, we know what we've accomplished and we want to celebrate that, but there's always been a forward momentum on the band also.
This has been vital to Priest. Whenever we've toured, apart from this one particular tour cycle of 50 heavy metal years of Judas Priest, where we really celebrate so much of what we've done and achieved, we've always gone out with a new record. That was what that was the idea that we started with. The reason we're here is to play the songs that you already know, but more importantly to us, this is the new material. This is how we represent ourselves now. This is us in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the noughts. Mm-hmm. Each time we go out on stage, as we will for the next Priest record that's just about done, it's to show off the things that we've created, and that for us as a band, again, is important to us for the reason of, yes, we can still go into a studio start of a day and have nothing, but at the end of the day, we have a great song that we hope we'll eventually record, and it's going to live forever. Mm-hmm. That's the great testimony to bands that still feel the need and the urge and the hunger. There's always and the inquisitiveness of the adventure.
Yeah.
What if we did this? What if we did that? You know, it's all about the need to express yourself in a new song or in a new album.
Yeah, that's the exciting part about it, because I've seen bands that are just going through the hits and playing the thing, and then you see acts that are still chasing it, and it's exciting. So what does that feel like? Do you still, when it's time for a new Priest album, what is the mindset? I mean, are you looking to just, like, how great do you want to be when you do the next thing? And what does that take to keep chasing greatness? Not just... Yes,
absolutely. Well, I learned a long time ago that Nirvana is unreachable, mm-hmm. but it's a great place to keep aiming for.
Sure.
And it's also, you know, why does LeBron James keep going out to play? Well, because he feels he's got a new move to show. He feels like he wants to show you how he getting from this end of the court to that end of the court with these moves that he's coming up with. It's all about finding a new form of expression within something that we love and get great pleasure out of. A band, a sports person, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. This thing that enamors us and puts us together is really important. And I just want to quickly address something here. Nostalgia. Mm-hmm. For the longest time, I had a real problem with nostalgia, what that word meant. Because in my mind, for a period of my life, it just felt like, oh, it's all over. You know, we're in the nostalgic mode. Mm-hmm. Now I realize that was a really bad train of thought. I've learned and I've grown from that, not negative, because I hate that word negative, but that misconception of nostalgia. Because when you go and see Judas Priest and we play Breaking the Law or Living After Midnight, it's not 2022, it's 1980. And you're with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other, whoever, or by yourself, and you hear that song and you're at college, you're at school, you're in the back of the bus, you're in the back of the car, you're on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
All of these beautiful, beautiful feelings and emotions are wrapped up in this word nostalgia. And so I know that we appreciate that as a band, the emotional opportunities that are taking place when you play those songs, because I see it on people's faces. I see it on our Metal Maniacs, you know. Sometimes there are tears in the house because it's such a significant memory. And that's the beauty of music, the way it touches that time clock in our existence, and brings us from the present to the past and back again.
Absolutely. But it is that kind of thing, though. You feel, at least I feel as an audience member, you can, when a band is still a band and not just nostalgia. I love my favorite songs being played in front of me as much as anybody, but there is just a secret sauce in there, some connective tissue that artists who are still chasing it have there's a certain edge or whatever it is over people doing it in a vacuum.
Yes. Commitment.
Yes.
Commitment, not going through the motions. When you see Mick Jagger running around and doing Satisfaction, he's believing it, he's living it, he's really doing everything that he needs to do to show you how that song has lived so long, and how he as a performer and the rest of the guys, how it still works. It's still legit. It's still legit. They're not just there for the money or for whatever. They're doing it because it's passion. It's absolute passion and self-belief and still self-determination to wring out every nuance of that song for the 10,000th time. But at that moment, it's the first time it's being played again, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because it is.
And it's also, and you say it in the book that you need to get up for the show because it might be your 10,000th time playing Living After Midnight, but there's people there that have been waiting their whole life to hear it once. And this is their moment.
That attitude of understanding your responsibility and not going on stage drunk and falling over or putting on a poor show or thinking, oh, because this is blah, blah, it's not as important as blah, blah. That is a terrible way to present yourself. And again, that's a learning curve. That's the learning curve. I went through some of those feelings, especially in my my drug and alcohol days, when all of the chemical interference affects you psychologically, along with all of the other things that you're dealing with in your life, be it sexual identity or whatever. It's life, man. It's life. It's growing. It's getting wisdom. It's understanding about the important things in life, which is being kind, being caring, giving, doing it all for the right reasons. So that's just there are some things that you can only gain through living a long life.
Sure. I know your time is tight. Just a couple more questions, and we'll let you get on with your Friday. I should say Tuesday. The show's on Tuesday, so we'll just pretend I said get on with your Tuesday. It's so interesting for you to discuss the way you finally found like a modicum of peace and self-possessed, like you're comfortable in your own skin. It seems more than you've ever been. But conversely, you need to go to places that are aggressive and pretty intense. What is that? How do you get there when you're feeling all this peace? How do you get into those songs then? What does that take?
Hang on, is this the same guy that does Painkiller?
Yeah, exactly.
His brains out.
Yeah.
Hey, firstly, it's real, and it is a place that I love going to because it's the only place I can do that and not be arrested. It's just. It's difficult to describe, really. There's such a purity. I say in the book that that's when I really truly feel alive, when I'm doing the work that I do in Judas Priest. It just really completes me as a person, using my voice. The voice, the singing part of my voice is such a place of peace, which just seems nuts when you're hearing the intensity of the scream and the passion and the power and the energy and the aggression and the force, and yet this guy is in a really sweet spot of peace and harmony. But I don't think I'm any different to a lot of my fellow screamers in heavy metal. It is such an intrinsic part of what we do and what we're about and what we need to do. I really need to do this. I don't think I would be as able to be as, again, balanced in my life if I didn't know that there wasn't an opportunity coming up in a few days or a few weeks from now where I could walk out on that stage wherever it is in the world and do this primordial performance.
So how did
because I'm able to do that and to walk away from it feeling complete and satisfied and not coming off stage in the same sense as I was on stage, because again, you really have to know when you're on stage and when you're off stage. You really have to be able to go back to that hotel after screaming, in front of 20,000 metal maniacs, and close that hotel door at 2:00 in the morning, and you're by yourself.
Yeah,
and this is when all the stuff starts to click and tick in your mind. You really have to be able to deal with that separation. So we talk about that in biblical, the mental part of being who you are in a band and understanding how to deal with the mental issues of who you are in a band is vital.
Absolutely. Now, and well, I'll just say, I have one more question, but I do want to say, Rob, it's a true thrill to have you on the show, and you deserve everything that's happening to you this year. And you wrote a second amazing book. Can't thank you enough for doing this. Can't you are the top of the pyramid. There is a pyramid. You say, what's the difference between you and the other screamers? Is that there's a pyramid and you are at the top of it. That would be the difference for me.
That's a beautiful thing to say. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for being so generous. I've had a great time. I've had a really great time.
Great. And the one last question, you mentioned you have a photo of Elvis before you go on stage. You were excited to meet Julio Iglesias a couple times. Who are some other surprise heroes that we might not know about that you haven't told the world about for you?
Well, you'll love this one. As you know, we're about to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year, which is going to be a tremendous thrill and a tremendous honor. Dolly Parton. I want my selfie with Dolly Parton, the Metal Garden Dolly Parton. That's just going to be an iconic moment. I can't wait to meet that lady and to tell her how she already knows she's just this glowing beacon of love and hope and an icon, a treasure in American country and Western music culture, whatever it is. This lady's still with us doing these incredibly beautiful, powerful things. So there you go. I'll be so thrilled. Who knew at this point in my life I was going to have the opportunity to meet and to stand and to kiss the hand of Dolly Parton and to say thank you, because I love her. Firstly, I love powerful women. I've always loved powerful women, especially in our world, in show business, entertainment, music. So to have this chance to meet Dolly is just going to be an absolute thrill.
That is absolutely amazing. Maybe there's some sort of, how about this? Pardon and Priest. 2024.
Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. And I never say never. These extraordinary things can happen in your life at any time. So grab the moment and embrace it and get everything out of it and cherish it as a metal memory.
Absolutely. And once again, we appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations on the Hall of Fame. The new book is amazing, biblical. Everybody should check it out. And will there be an audiobook? Did you do an audiobook for it?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did the audio book here in Phoenix just not too long ago, and that's always an extraordinary experience because I use the voice for singing,
sure,
but to actually use it in an audio sense, talking. It's one thing to read a book. It's one thing to sit with your guy Ian and to talk, and then you get the drafts back and you read it and check it out to make sure everything's okay. But then when you actually sit in front of a microphone with your headphones on and start to read the words, something really special happens. I'd like to feel that for people that are interested in the audio book of any author, really, is that it's a cool thing to have to happen. There are brilliant readers, there are brilliant voice actors that do incredible work in the book world. But I feel if you have the opportunity to be the voice of the words from the paper, and the book is about you, and this is you speaking at the words from the book, it just completes the experience in a special way. Absolutely. So that was great for me. It was a learning curve because firstly I never realized what a bad reader I was as far as articulating the words precisely, because I found that when I was doing my audio work, I was just as overcritical and micromanaging everything that I do as I do when I'm singing.
Yeah.
It takes me forever to get the voice right for my singing. So it was for the audio.
Sure. I wrote a book last year, and then I had to do the audio book for it. And look, all I do is blab into microphone. So I'm like, well, that's going to be the easiest thing in the world. And then I get in there and I realize I never read this thing out loud before. All I did was read it on a screen. And I was not ready for the way they do it, where you just keep going until you screw up and then you back it up a little bit. And I would get tripped up. I'm talking about my father dying, and then I'm flubbing the line. They're like, yeah, back it up again. And I had to keep saying it over and over about my father died and my father died. It's just like, what are you people doing to me here? It was like torture.
It's intense, isn't it? It's intense. But again, Tom Miz, who's my vocal producer, he came down from Hachette in New York, and he was great. I mean, again, I've never underestimated the valuable role that producers do for us. We're like the vessel of whatever we do, but without another member of our team saying, if you did that, put a little bit of this, I think we'd get to a better place.
Yeah.
So appreciating and valuing everyone that works with you in that production sense is really important.
Well, you got there. You have the right people around you because you got great stuff coming out. Congratulations on everything. And everybody should check out Biblical, which comes out in early November. So.
Yes, November the 1st, I think it is. What a great time for it to happen.
Yeah.
In the fall when the snow's coming and you want to sit by the fire and, warm yourself up with a hot cup of tea and some Biblical.
Yeah, and if you don't like the book, you can throw it into the fire.
Yeah, throw it into the fire. Absolutely. Oh, that's great. Yeah, maybe I should urge all my readers to do that.
Once they buy it,
into the fire.
Once they buy it, who cares what they do with it, right?
Yeah.
They paid for it.
Yeah.
You want to burn it, go burn
That's
it.
right. You do what you want with it. Yes.
Thank you so much for taking the time, Rob. Really appreciate it. What a thrill.
Thank you, sir. I've had a wonderful time with you.
Awesome.
And all the best. Have a great holiday season as it's coming along. And as I always say, stay hard, stay heavy, stay metal.
Okay, you take care.
Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye now.
Thanks again. That was a real thrill. Yeah, how about that? You like that? Yeah, I don't see these other podcasts getting Rob Halford on the show. I'm like freaking Eddie Trunk up in this piece. Nobody could touch this show. Griffin Newman, Rob Halford, and then here's the book, Biblical. You get that, and then you go get this, which is the Black Lips album, Apocalypse Love. It's out now, and they are in the studio tonight, set up to play live, and they're going to do it in a matter of seconds. So I tell you now, what you do, you refresh your browser on the Zoom, whatever the thing is. refresh it right on the Twitch. Refresh it because we're going to switch over to the other studio. But let's throw it over to one of my favorite bands, Black Lips, baby.
Oh yeah, this is a new one. Whoop whoop!
Going back wild.
You don't mind me coming with my friends. Certified destruction, ain't no better end. If you see us looking sort of strange, better not come out your mouth when we say deranged. Well, we kept driving, never had to stop until we
Oh, thank you for having us on the show. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah. It's our post-Halloween spooky one.
Lost from the double wire like a boy-eyed pig from Australia. You're like a wild soul, dirt gushing if you fall like turkey like a tail, give me a boat, Bermuda triangle, I'll disappear. Watch what you say, gonna leave you in the road, in the heart, and I'll leave you there naked, let nature take its call. Hooker, you think that I'm John, let's move it on. John, you think that I'm a hooker, and a shiny hooker, everybody's wrong about what turns me on. She thinks that I'm a hooker, she thinks that I'm a John. Okay. Driving all night and day to try and find Route 66. All down was a teenage boy trying to 84,448 Flintstones get a real biscuits when my first return time is gonna give a melody. Let's see what he says. There are parts of good mama, soft once again. Hooker, you think that I'm a John, let's move it on. John, you think that I'm a hooker, and a shiny hooker, everybody's wrong about what turns me on. Thinks that I'm a hooker, she thinks that I'm a John. Okay. You're like a hoodoo phantom, he's no million rhymes. You're like the prince of darkness doing patty cakes in the crystal. If you watch some reruns of Wheel of Fortune when apocalypse comes, your brain will be expanded when God keeps it calm. You're like a retarded husband when Johnny Appleseed's fine. You're a ghost from a pillow making apples and hooker, you think that I'm a John, let's move it on. John, you think that I'm a hooker, and a shiny hooker, everybody's wrong about what turns me on. She thinks that I'm a hooker, she thinks that I'm a John. Thank you very much.
Am I on, Margot? Thank you. Oh my goodness. Ay, ay, ay. That was one of the best things that's ever happened on the best show. The mighty Black Lips, one of the all-time great bands in studio. Unbelievable. The new album is so good. Apocalypse Love, and can't recommend it enough. They're doing some shows. They're on tour, so you got to check them out. And they hopefully will swing into the studio here and say hi with me. And we'll talk for a few minutes. And also, let me just tell everybody, the Patreon, once again, you want to support the best show, you go to patreon.com/thebestshow. That's where all the bonus content is. And that's where you can get all the stuff, whether it's Rubenesque, which is the Rick Rubin recap podcast that we do each and every record in the catalog. Right now, we're about to enter into a very dark period. The hip-hop stuff is ending. Getting ready to do some other albums. That'll be coming out in a week or so. We got the Four Horsemen. We got Ask Tom. There's so many things up over at the Patreon and so much more coming. We love the support. We appreciate you backing the best show, and you do it over at the Patreon. So thank you to everybody who is doing that now. And if you're not doing it, now's the time to do it, because you also get stickers and pins. I mail you stuff, and just like I send stuff to you. I take care, and I'm the one that puts them in the envelope, so you know I touched the envelope. Oh, wait, you don't want to do it then? No, that was a joke. You'll do it. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the show. And later in the show, we got Jason DUDIE GORE. Come on in. Take a seat. We got later in the show, Jason DUDIE GORE. Any seat is your seat. And he's going to do... you're in Black Lips?
Yeah, I'm on here.
I missed you.
Sure.
Okay. I missed you on the stage there. So, how are you both?
Oh, good, fantastic.
Great. Yeah, that was unbelievable. Thank you. We got Cole and Zumi here.
Yeah.
So
Hello.
exciting.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here.
Oh, my God. Black Lips, all-time greatest bands. These are the best bands.
We've been dying. Knowing that we were going to be here today. We're just dying.
Well, we're very excited. These are the best bands ever. Hawkwind.
Hawkwind? Okay.
Yes.
You like ranking things. I like that. You're like a ranker.
I like ranking things.
Yeah, I like
Slap
that.
some ranks on things.
Yeah.
It clears things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hawkwind. What else?
That's
And
well,
Black
yeah,
Lips.
definitely.
And Black Lips. Might just be Black Lips. Hawkwind and Black Lips. I think that's the end of the
Just
list right
Hawkwind
there.
and Black Lips.
Yeah, that's all you need. That would get me through about 5 years. Velvet Underground also.
Oh yeah. That
Velvet
would be
Underground,
my top.
Hawkwind, Black Lips.
We were like very excited listening to your the like sleaziest. The breakdown of the sleaziest, number one sleaziest.
Oh,
Rockstar
and it was,
Sunset.
who was it again? It was Gary Puckett.
It was Gary Puckett. I was thinking it was going to be Kim Fowley maybe, but I don't think he even made the list. I don't know.
Kim Fowley, that's a good one. Kim
Gary
Fowley
Glitter,
would-
I didn't think he made those. Those guys I was
slide-
thinking
yeah,
about.
those are, yeah.
There's
But
an
the list was
Aphrodite's
formidable.
Child song also called "End of the World." That's incredibly sleazy. That I wish I wanted to play for you later.
Okay.
For you later.
And Aphrodite's Child, that was the band that Vangelis
Yes,
was
yes,
in.
yeah.
That's right. See.
It's like, come with me to the end of the world.
It's got that Gary
without telling
Puckett
your
Corona.
parents or your friends. It's really creepy.
Yeah, there's nothing but like those good creepy songs.
Oh, yeah.
The secret creepy ones.
Yes.
Where you're just like, oh, this is gross.
It was all about euphemisms back in the old days. You
Yeah.
couldn't. They didn't have the parental advisory, so you had to just
Yeah, exactly.
Fruity, like we don't know what that means
Yeah,
to this day,
fruity.
but I know it wasn't good. Whatever it was.
One
know
of
what
the
it
cats
means. We
heap
know
in
what
a
it
seafood store. It's the filthiest thing I ever heard in my
It's
life.
almost worse when it's the euphemism. I
Yeah,
think than
I
it, you
think
know.
so.
I'd rather listen to NWA record with my nieces and nephews.
So, the new record, Apocalypse Love, is so great.
Thanks.
Are you excited about it? Because
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we're
Very
super excited.
and it's so exciting to see the band just change and grow, and not just like, because that's one of the things. You know, it's like, look, put the Ramones on that list of best bands ever.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
But there's just a point with the Ramones where you just don't need anything past like the first 5 albums, because they're just like lesser versions of the best albums ever made.
Right.
And
Yeah.
look, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
But
It happens.
but it's so, that's why it's exciting to see you all have like there's like a larger goal to keep the thing
not stagnant.
alive.
Well, yeah, you have to
and
evolve, and
yeah.
and
Yeah.
change. Otherwise, you become stagnant, and you wither and die.
Yeah. Also, the lack of success kind of keeps you kind of hungry a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah,
I think once
being-
you hit a certain
yeah.
level, then you're expected to do that thing.
Yeah.
Whereas it kind of never. We did okay. We never got to that level where it's like that's your thing. You got big on that thing.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
can
there could be some freedom with that.
Yeah,
Then
by
you're
not
just-
having crap, crap too high.
Hungry losers, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, hungry losers might be the best phrase. Hungry. We're all hungry losers
Yeah,
ultimately,
you know?
aren't we?
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I need to ask you, Cole, Zumi, you were not in the band at this point. There was a show in Brooklyn. Was that at the Shank?
Yes, it
that
was at
I
the
saw
Shank.
you all, and it was. And for people who don't know, there was a stretch in Brooklyn where anything that had 4 walls and a roof over it was a venue. It didn't matter.
Fire code,
Fire
hazards,
code.
exits.
And I was there at the time. I mean, I
You
was
were there,
living in
okay.
Brooklyn. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I was in the area, you know.
It wasn't this show,
was
but I
a
remember
shithole.
one show, going to a show in Brooklyn and going, it was on the second floor, going up the steps, all wooden steps, and they had candles on each step because there were no lights in the stairwell. I'm just like,
fire
this is
hazard.
just begging for us all to die tonight. But
19th
the
century
price
style.
of seeing music.
Yeah, living on the edge of the blade, you know.
Yeah.
You got to walk dangerously.
I think you said shame on you, Brooklyn, after the show.
That was
shame on
for
you,
the
Brooklyn.
Shank.
Shame on you,
It
Brooklyn.
was a secret shame, or not very secret, because the show was. It's also one of those shows where it's just like, I think this is oversold by like 200%.
And the porta potties, where it was only like
Yeah,
2, and
there's
there's
2
like
porta potties.
2,000 people.
There's there's thousands of people, 2 porta potties,
Overflowing troughs. Like,
and then it would be a thing where it's like, you want a PBR? It's going to take you an hour to get one.
To
And we
get
have
a hot
torture.
Yeah,
PBR.
a hot PBR. But at that show, there was a gentleman named Giorgio,
is that the carpet guy?
the human carpet, who
Legend.
because I was stepping over, it was like walking through the thing, and there was just a rolled up carpet, and you'd hear like, "Oof," every time you'd go.
got him good. He
Like you're
liked
going
that.
through the venue. And then somebody's like, yeah, there's a dude in that carpet. It's kind of his thing. He gets his thrills by people stepping on him in a rolled up carpet. And I was just like, that's when I was like, shame on you, Brooklyn. This is really where we're at.
Incredible. So I tried to suppress my wild laugh because I was going to be snorting and
No,
squawking into the
you
microphone.
snort all
Apparently,
you
he was a
want.
staple in New York, though. Like, he'd be at the
Yeah,
bars
legend.
and all around.
Yeah.
But what a gig, you know, to be the one.
Yeah, something zen about being so stationary. It's like kind of a Buddhist, kind of just meditate in your little role.
Yes, Paul.
being
Yes,
smothered
yes,
on-
Paul. Very, very, very zen. Yeah.
But I don't think he was like,
That
I don't know if he was, I don't know how much Giorgio
That
was
enlightenment.
making that night, for example.
Right,
I don't know
right.
if he was on the bill.
Right.
Yeah.
The pleasure was his. The pleasure. Yeah.
You're like,
The pleasure was all his. You know.
You're like, oh, no, just the other, I think just closer to the
Oh, closer. I'm sorry.
You're not
I
getting
mumbled-
yelled at
I
for
mumbled
having a
too.
white
But
claw in the
what did
studio.
that? What did that feel like stepping on him? Very curious to know.
Well, have you ever stepped on a speed bump?
No.
Yeah.
And did it ever make a sound? Well, that's what it was like. Imagine a speed bump that made a sound when you stepped on it.
Was it
It's
like a
kind of-
Persian rug? What kind of rug was it?
That place was so dark, I couldn't see anything. That was when it's just like, when are the Black Lips playing? I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to run back to New Jersey.
Yeah.
No, but those were the magical times. The other time I
It was a
saw you
special
on the
time.
Bruise Cruise was so exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, and I know this might not sound like the greatest thing, put a bunch of rock people on a Carnival cruise ship out of Miami for 3 days into the ocean and then see what happens. But the other thing, like 70% of the people on the boat were not there for the Bruise Cruise. So you
Yeah.
just have regular cruise people dealing with just
people you'd see at like Disneyland or Disney World.
human
but, like,
scum
on the
on this boat,
Just waiting
They're
for
the
the
human
buffet
scum
to
as
open.
opposed to like anyway.
clogging up the hot tubs, the buffet,
buffet, clogging up the
ruining
buffet.
everything.
Spreading disease, you know.
Right, exactly.
I
Out
love
on the-
they're the ones spreading the disease,
Well, yeah.
as opposed to like the black.
There's probably
lips
different
and the other-
diseases
the
between the
other
demographics.
Yeah.
scumbag musicians that were there.
I think everybody that might have been
I don't remember
their
that, actually.
disease plus the plus the
That's how we have COVID now. Is
Might
stuff
have,
like that.
might have created
Exactly.
COVID.
Or monkeypox.
Or both.
Yeah.
You get those mutations going when you get just the worst people together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that was fun being out on a cruise ship, seeing it was you guys and the OCs.
Ty
and all
Seal,
these. Ty
maybe?
was out there. Yeah, really, it was really a special thing. I'm teasing it, but it was a really great time.
I mean, sounds miserable and wonderful at the same time. You know, do you get seasick? I don't know. I think I
didn't.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I did get seasick. I went on a shark dive thing in South Africa last year, where you get on the boat and then you get into the cage and you go down, and then they tell you like, look, go down, look to the left, and then sharks swim by.
It's kind of brave.
Yeah.
Well, there's a cage.
Even with the cage, though, just you know,
descending
being
into
there.
like
it's like bungee
fear.
jumping. Like you're probably gonna be safe, but
You're-
still kind of scary.
Exactly, because it's like to me, it's like the cyclone in New York.
Yeah.
Where it's just like they're like nobody's died on this thing ever. It's like, well, that makes it scarier than ever. It seems like we're due for the roller coaster to fly off the track because it's been 100 years.
Is that the Coney one in Coney Island?
Yeah,
that thing's
that's Coney.
scary.
Oh,
It seems
it's
like the screws are loose and
'Cause it's wood, it's
rusty. Yeah, they should.
This all
they should
sounds
probably
like
jet
a
that thing
Black
down.
Ops show. The screws are loose.
Yeah.
You're like, you know, just like the people in a cage and like wild animals swimming around them. Just
I always
waiting
wonder
to get bitten. You know.
Yeah. I always wonder what the top 10 like kill list for roller coasters is that are still operating. You know, people have a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
So there might be one that has 1 kill, but is there like a roller coaster that has like 8 deaths on that one roller coaster? I want
This
to
is
find
the
that
most
list.
fascinating thing I've ever
I want
thought
to find
about.
that list.
honestly.
Yeah.
I hope.
Because I'm sure after a certain amount of deaths, they just shut it down, probably.
You think?
Yeah.
I would think they would have shut that one in Coney Island down a long time ago, 100 years ago, probably.
Or they just renamed the roller coaster.
Exactly.
Was it from the Edwardian period or something?
The Edwardian
Yes,
roller
the Edward-
coaster.
yes,
It's a
the Edwardian.
steampunk roller coaster. No, so I went in the thing and I dove and I was in the water for a good 5-10 minutes and then suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be sick, and I had to get out.
Oh
and
my God.
And they were just like, they told me like, don't throw up over the other side of the boat because the sharks will go over there and eat that.
Yeah.
They'll stop going where the people in the cage are.
Bait.
Oh, they
So-
love that vomit
Sharks
chum.
to them, that's food is food.
Vomit chum.
So you're mid-tour now?
Yeah. We just did the
we
West
just finished
Coast.
the West Coast tour and we're about to start an East Coast tour.
Okay.
Yep.
And when does and how's everything going on the road?
Fantastic. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We're still alive. Everyone else is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
People
COVID
are-
seems to have fallen back a little
Yeah.
bit, and it's like more normal.
It's really nice to be able to perform with 4 people, and it's incredible. It feels great.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I love the new record's great. I love the new lineup. It really is kind of where the band is supposed to be, is what it feels. As a longtime fan of the band, it's great to see things just expand. And the
Yeah.
sound is so much more. It really is more expansive and still kind of rambly, and it's everything.
Well, 'cause
Everything
we're, like,
the band
we're
was.
old now, so like we've
You're
you know,
older.
We've
Oh,
been
yeah.
we've been you know, screwing up for many years enough to where it's like a evolved
Evolved
chaos.
screwing up,
you
yeah.
know?
Yes,
Evolved
you,
chaos.
You have the Black Lips have ascended.
Yes, ascended. Yes.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming down and being a part of the show. What a thrill!
Thank you so much. We really
Honor.
we're like fanning out.
Oh, you're very sweet to say that, and I look forward to you'll doing your own sign thing when this run is over.
Oh, what?
Crush?
Crush?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
have a
yeah.
side thing called
Yeah.
Crush.
Okay.
Sometimes,
Yes,
we'll be playing
We
around.
we have a record that we've been trying to put out for about 9 years or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like Chinese
So one day,
democracy.
we just
Yeah.
gotta, we're just keeping people really thirsty for it. Sorry,
The manufacturing
You know.
too side is like really
everything's so
back to the
accessible
gills.
now.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just
Yeah.
making it completely impossible to actually,
make
we're
somebody-
withholding.
You make them appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get everything for free
edging.
now, so
Yeah.
make them wait, you know.
Exactly. Make them wait. Make them sweat a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
No, I can't wait. I love all of it. Bring Crush. When
Thank
you're
you.
doing that, come back.
Oh
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Love it. Now, this is a true
Absolutely.
thrill. Cole,
Yeah.
Sumi, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And thanks to everybody in the band.
Thank you so
for
much.
making this happen, and everybody over at Fire and
Yeah.
your management
Yeah.
for pulling this off. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Bateman, my buddy
And
in New
Rob.
Orleans, who's a big fan of the show.
And Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dressed for Rob today,
Oh,
in
yeah,
case
yeah.
you didn't, in case you didn't notice,
I didn't know that was for Rob.
Yeah, specifically.
It's for Rob.
Well, thank you so much. I'm
adios.
going to ask, would you be able to take this and I
Oh,
will
of
sign
course.
it? And
Yeah.
can you get everybody to sign
Absolutely.
it for Tom?
Yes.
please? What if I was like, don't put my name on it, I'm going to sell it. Like when people do that at autograph things. They're like,
Right. You were telling me about that. Okay, awesome.
Oh, yeah, with the
We'll
books,
get
it's like
everybody-
that, right? You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want your
like,
name on
don't
it.
put my
If you
name
wanna
on
sell
it.
it. You don't want
Yeah, 'cause then you
whenever
gotta
ask
find-
them that, they think it's weird. You just try to sell it.
because you got to find somebody named Tom to buy the album now.
Or there- some people, they bring a pencil. Hey, sign it in the pencil. They can erase their name later.
Yeah, oh, that would, yeah. Well, not me. Thank you both so much. Seriously.
Yeah, that's
Of
super
course.
fun, man.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, Cole. Dreams coming true on the best show. Now, let's go check the phones. Let's see, any calls? We have any calls? Anybody on hold? We'll take this call. Hey, DUDIE? Jason DUDIE Gore? Jason. Let's get Jason DUDIE Gore on the program. You have something for us?
Oh yeah, I do.
Let me see. Is Mike there? Mike, are you there? AP Mike?
Hey, Tom, what's up?
There
man?
he is. Look at this. This is the guy. How are you
I just
doing?
want to say, Tom,
Yeah.
with that interview of Rob Halford,
Yeah.
you fulfilled all my priest needs.
That doesn't say much. I don't think your priest needs are that not that elaborate. I think all your Judas Priest needs for you was a half
You
hour
touched all
interview.
the bases.
No, it was a lot of fun talking to Rob Halford. That
you
was
did a good
that
job.
Oh, thank you, Mike. That was a legitimate thrill. And thank you, Jason. Jason Gore. You chased that down.
I chased him down.
You made that happen. Jason?
Yes.
4 points.
4 points.
4 points for you. And Mike, how are you tonight?
Doing all right, hanging in there.
Mike,
Got a
500 points for
fully
doing
Jesus
all
Christ. I knew that was it. I knew that was coming. I was just sitting back.
Mike, take another 700
There
points.
you go. 700, 1100 for Mike.
Now, Jason?
Yes.
5 points.
Oh, thank you.
For getting
On top of the 4, so 9?
No, one more.
Oh, one more.
Yeah,
Good.
one more.
Okay.
I don't like that tone. You're down to 3 points. No, seriously. Thank you so much. That was amazing. You pulled that off, and I'm really, truly impressed by you making that happen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No other podcast is.
No.
I got Rob Halford and the Black
I
Lips
don't
on the
see
same
anybody
show.
else getting Rob Halford on their show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mike,
Yeah.
you like that Black Lips set?
Yeah, it was nice. I'm
Yeah.
not that familiar with their music, so it's kind of new.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was enjoying it.
All right. And well, who's coming up on Egg Foo What, which is the podcast everybody's talking about these days?
As a podcast, everybody. Well, we're trying to make it happen with you in next week's show.
We'll see about next week if I come on, and we'll do some shrimp-based thing. We'll figure that
Well,
out.
Greg has suggested, since it's the title of the show, trying to get you to eat egg foo young.
Okay.
Is that a possibility?
Mike, anything's a possibility. Kevin Garnett said, and anything is possible.
Think of it as I tried it for the first time recently.
Okay.
When we started the show, and it's like an omelet.
it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's
the gravy? The gravy you get on the side, so you use the gravy however you want.
Now, this is the thing with me. I had a hard time when it comes to gravy. It brings back a little PTSD for me on the playground. Baby, stick your head in gravy, I was told. Wrap it up in bubble gum and send it to the Navy. And
Yeah, I think
remember that
that
one.
was made up on the playground with you. I've never heard that
yeah,
before.
maybe that was somebody you inspired them.
Baby, wrap it up in gravy.
baby,
Uh-huh.
wrap your head in gravy.
Wrap your head.
No,
Shouldn't it be dunk?
it's baby, stick your head in
Stick
gravy.
your head in gravy.
Wrap it up in bubble gum.
Ew.
And send it to the Navy. You know the worst part of that? I did it.
How did the Navy take it?
I did 2 tours of duty. in the Pacific. Yeah, I was out there in Hawaii, as they say. Yeah, not good. Not good.
No.
So when you mentioned gravy, Mike, I get a little flashbacks.
Yeah,
a little
sorry.
scared.
Keep that in mind.
Now, what would be a let's Jason and is Pat here? Pat, are you here? Pat, do we have Pat? No, Pat. Pat, I love you.
He should be there.
Okay, well, we don't have Pat.
Pat
can check in when he's
Okay.
here. Now, Jason, though.
Yes.
What do you have for us?
Well, Tom, I just wanted to share with you. I've been doing a lot of voice work lately.
That's true.
I've been doing a lot of commercials lately, and since you've been such a big supporter, of my career so far, I thought, well, I'm gonna share with Tom a few of my latest things that I've done.
All right.
So, because I know you're a busy guy, you don't get to see everything.
No, I don't get. I don't get to be a student of Jason Gore.
You don't get to see everything. So, the first one I'm going to play for you.
Well, because look,
Yes,
you
yeah,
have the Hawk, which is
I do have the Hawk.
108.9. The Hawk, the breakout podcast. Some call it the Egg Foo What of
I have heard that. Yes.
Of like faux radio based things.
Yes. Yeah.
People are saying they feel a real Egg Foo What influence on the Hawk.
That's all our reviews. They're like, you're doing a real Egg Foo what with this?
Yeah, people say
5 stars.
Yeah, I hear the Egg Foo What.
Yeah. No, that's what everybody says. That's what we try to do on 108.9 The Hawk every week. But, I'm doing a bunch of other stuff. I'm doing a lot of work, Tom, and you've been such a mentor to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I brought some of my recent favorite ones that I think you're going to enjoy. So
now we have Pat. Is that Pat? Is that you?
Hey, this is me. I was locked out for a minute.
We got Pat. Okay. We got Pat Byrne. This is the guy. Because look, everybody in the Best Show family, I think, is a somewhat of a flawed character. There's the people that hate me.
Yes.
Think I'm washed up over I was better in 2007. Whatever.
Yeah.
God bless them. There's people that have their favorites, but then they have their least favorite. Pat is the one person on the show everybody likes.
He's always a favorite.
Yeah. Somebody wrote me the other day, "You suck."
Really?
Oh yeah.
That was the whole email. You suck.
Yeah.
What did they say about me?
They didn't mention you. I'm assuming they're fans of you.
I must suck even, or I suck so much that I'm not to be mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know.
Got its first hater review, so.
Oh no!
I'm officially in the podcast game.
You're in the
there
game.
You are.
Right.
That's right.
There you are. What did they say, Mike? What did they say?
Lack of preparation. So, we're going to counter this. Me and Greg have at least 2 or 3 texts before each show. So
2 or 3.
Plenty of
That's
preparation.
That is preparation right there. You got to have 2 to 3 texts.
Now, when Mike mentions Greg, of course he's talking about Greg. What's his name again? Greg Douglas.
Greg
his wacky sidekick on the show.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Greg Wilson.
Greg Wilson. Sounds like a name you check into a hot sheet motel with.
Yeah.
Greg Wilson.
It's like a guy that worked with Mr. Brady.
Yeah.
On the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Or like really trying to get the Wilson account, like on a show. No, but look, God bless everybody over in the Egg Foo What universe. We love them all. But Jason, this is your moment.
This is it. I just wanted to take a few moments to share some of my favorite commercials that I've done lately.
Okay.
Margot, we've got the first one. Now, this one is just to put it up. It's a short one, but it's been getting a lot of airplay in the Southeast.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and see that now.
Sometimes you just want to go too much. Leamington Laxatives. No limits.
It's good. No limits. It's I said it's short. It plays a lot during Antenna TV or Me TV.
Me
Getting
TV,
so much airplay
TV.
on that.
Pluto.
Pluto, a little on Pluto.
Okay.
A little
That's
on
great.
Pluto. So,
And what was the company?
Flemington Laxatives.
Flemington.
Yes.
Not Flemington, New Jersey. is
Nope.
it? Okay.
Nope. I think it's
Not
Flemington,
like,
South Carolina.
Not like the Flemington Coat Factory.
No, nothing like the Flemington Coat Factory. But thank you to Flemington Laxatives for the checks that I've been getting. It's been very good.
And one thing about the Flemington Coat Factory,
Right.
I'm actually involved in a class action lawsuit against the Flemington Coat Factory. My father worked at the Flemington Coat Factory, and he was diagnosed with coat cough. Oh, God. He got from the Flemington Coat Factory.
Yeah,
he would mine for coats.
Yeah, you have to. Every winter.
Every winter. Thank you. So
now this one's going to blow you away, Tom.
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed. I've been doing a lot of content online. I've been doing a lot of videos, and it's been getting some interest.
Okay.
I got a call from a guy named Tyler, who was George Clooney's assistant.
Okay.
And he said that Clooney's really been enjoying my stuff lately, and he's got a new movie coming out. It's out in theaters right now called Ticket to Paradise.
Yeah.
With him and Julia Roberts. He was asking if there's anything I can do for that.
Okay.
So I made this. It's been getting a lot of airplay. I think it played in the World Series tonight. Let's go ahead and play that, Margo.
I've wanted to see a movie with George Clooney again. And I was thinking maybe he could do one with his best friend. 'Cause I've waited so long. I've waited too long. I've waited so long. Waited too long. Give me one for Ticket to Paradise. Clooney and Roberts are back, that's nice. I'll take one for Ticket to Paradise. Taking myself on a date tonight. George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Ticket to Paradise. Now playing.
Now, good news, bad news on that one, Tom.
What's that?
I did sell some tickets.
Okay.
Bad news?
Yeah.
I'm being sued by Eddie Money's estate.
Sure.
So I didn't really clear that before.
You didn't clear. You probably.
It was the excitement.
Yeah. You might also. You might want to run some of these things up the flagpole before you do them.
To you?
No, to the people at Universal.
No, they kind of made it sound like I had free reign, but in the end, they're not really helping me with any sort of legal help.
Well, these are amazing.
Yeah, I do have one final one.
Okay.
Now, this is out of all the things that I've done, this is the big one, Tom.
Okay.
Because I'm getting a little choked up. As you know, I'm very proud of being from Roosters Creek, West Virginia. And they've seen all the stuff I've done lately, and they saw the Clooney thing, and they said, hey, Jason, any time in your schedule to maybe do something for us.
Okay.
And of course, I'm always going to do something for Roosters Creek because it's home. It's who I am. I wouldn't be here without them. So I just did this ad for them. It's getting a lot of airplay. A lot of people are excited. This is my tourism video for Roosters Creek, West Virginia.
Okay.
Hi, I'm comedian Jason Gore. And yeah, I was once a proud citizen of Roosters Creek, West Virginia. It's my hometown, my heart, if you will. And it will always be a part of me, just like my actual heart. If you're looking for a fresh start, or maybe a place for a nice, relaxing vacation, you should give Roosters Creek a try. Recently rated Well That's a Town by Country Cousin Magazine, Roosters Creek has it all and a little bit more. Maybe you crave local attractions. Yeah, we've got those. From the murky yet shallow depths of the creek that serves as our namesake to the never-ending Great Mine Fire of 1896, you'll say, wow, or geez, maybe we should, and oh no, as you quickly step back 20 feet. If delicious eats are what you're after, Roosters Creek has a fine selection of culinary delights. From Tammy's Mine Fire Diner to the Long John Silver's operating from the bottom of a sure-to-collapse-soon mine shaft, your taste buds will be all juiced up for these eats. You say Aaron Sorkin is your favorite writer? Well, Roosters Creek has its fair share of political drama, as it is the only town in the nation to have an actual fire for mayor. And my friends, Mayor Fire is making some solid changes. So come one, come all, come everybody to Roosters Creek, West Virginia. We've got a collapsed mine shaft with your name on it.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is beautiful.
It makes you want to visit, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
So
that chow line looked very appealing.
I mean,
yeah.
There's nothing like a big pot of something. That's what we called it back in the day. Like
a big pot of something.
It's a big pot, hot pot of something. You get in there with the ladle. You don't question it.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's delicious.
Jason, your career.
Thank you.
Is rocketing.
Thank you so much.
Up.
Thank you. I knew. I hoped you'd be proud. I'm very
proud.
I'm very
proud is
happy.
the first word that comes to mind.
Good.
Not horrified.
Okay. No, as long as it's proud. That first word.
Sure. Yeah. No, not unsure how to meet your glance.
Sickened.
Yeah. None of those.
None of those.
No.
Proud. Thank you. I'll take proud.
Pat, what's your verdict?
I think he left.
On visiting Roosters Creek?
No, on Jason's work.
Oh, it's always stellar.
Oh, see, this is why everybody likes Pat. This is why
Pat's a class act.
Yeah, everybody loves Pat.
Yeah. Next week on the best show. Well, first of all, I want to thank Margot for your work. Margot killing it. Andrew, our guy Andrew, doing it. Of course, Jason, thank you.
Of course.
Brett Davis and Brett Boehm, the two Bretts. And Pat and Mike, thank you tonight for a killer show, putting this all together. Rob Halford, Black Lips, Griffin Newman, Jason's VO work, his commercials. That's a freaking best show, man. And look at this. I got my nails painted still. I'm keeping it. I'm serious. I'm keeping it. I'll be here. If my nails aren't painted on the show next week, something went horribly wrong. I like it. I'm keeping it. Why not, right? Should I keep it?
Yeah.
Keep it.
Thank you. I'm going to keep it. And next week on the best show, can we bring it up? Announcement? Next week's best show is... And look at, that's my dog right there. That's old Barbarella right there.
That's the best.
Cutest dog ever.
Do we have the graphic?
There it is. That's right. The Gary the Squirrel Show. And when we say it's a Gary the Squirrel Show, it's going to be a bleeping show. Get ready. It's a full Gary the Squirrel Show like you've never seen or heard before. Next week on the best show. And I'm going to play some music on the way out. What should we hear? What should we hear? What should we hear on the show? What do you want to hear? Let's see. What should we play? Bing bong ding dong. I'm going to play something by... Yeah, let's play, haven't heard this in a while. Let's play something by my guys from Austin, Texas. The Golden Boys. Best show, back next week, Gary the Squirrel Show. Thanks everybody for listening. The Best Show is produced in partnership with the Forever Dog Podcast Network. The show is hosted by Tom Scharpling and features John Worster, Jason Gore, Pat Byrne, and Michael Lisk. The show is produced and written by Jason Gore, Pat Byrne, Michael Lisk, John Worster, and Tom Scharpling. The Best Show is executive produced by Tom Scharpling, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. The show is engineered and mastered by Andrew Gleason, website and technical support provided by Martine Sellis, and the show is recorded at Forever Dog Studios in Los Angeles. Support The Best Show on Patreon over at patreon.com/thebestshow and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram over at Best Show 4 Life. That's Best Show number 4 Life. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.